It's going to be a big weekend, y'all. Garcia Romero on Friday. Canelo versus Skull on Saturday. Inoue versus Cardenas. Now, those are not the most intriguing fights for those fighters, granted. But like I said, as a package deal, it's value for money. You know? I'm excited, actually, because at least two of the fights on the Friday show might end in an upset. At least two of them. I'm going with Devin to win the fight, but I don't know that he will. And I'm going with Arnold Barbosa to upset Tofimo, but I don't know that he will. Those are good fights, actually. You know, those are good fights. And it's a common sense argument that no, none of them fights by themselves is pay-per-view worthy. Not by themselves, but on the same bill they are. Yeah, you getting Devin in a fight, Tio in a fight, Ryan in a fight. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And that speaks to what we're going to talk about tonight, because I noticed in a previous video where I talked about whether or not that's, pay-per-view worthy, I got a couple of comments from a couple of guys whose opinions differ. They think that the DAZN is getting too expensive. That's what they think. They think that between what it costs to have it and the fights that are ending up on pay-per-view, it's getting too expensive. And we'll talk about that tonight, whether or not the DAZN is gouging people now, the way the PBC used to. Now, you guys already know what I think. I already did a video on it, so we don't got to get into my opinion. I'll get into what the panel thinks, whether or not they feel that, yeah, it's starting to cost too much. Gary, what it do? Big Swole, ow, in the building. You know what I'm saying? My wife said I'm trying to look like an old Dominican to pull young bitches with this shirt. I might have to give it away now. She said I look like one of them old Oyes that's trying to fuck 20-year-olds. That shit is insulting. Because the shit got tight, is what it is. It didn't used to be this tight last summer. But I've been hitting back and shoulders, so like the sleeves always rise up now. I like the color. It's a good color for me. She said I look like some old slutty Oye. I don't know if I should be insulted. I think I should be insulted, like, because she's saying I'm trying to look young. I'm like, shit, like, I ain't trying to look young. I just bought a shirt I like. Damn. I can't like a neon green shirt. Shout out to Gary King Frog. I'm taking a plus 300 on Barbies to win 2-horse race. A dangerous man that lives dangerously. Yeah, I'm going with Barbosa too. I'm sorry, but I just don't see what's supposed to make me confident that Tio could win this fight, especially when he don't even want to do a face-off with old boy. I just don't see how it. You know what I mean? Undefeated said, you look like you play dominoes at the park with the Cubans. I do know how to play dominoes. I do play copy cool, but not with the Cubans. She tried to play me. That's what wives do. They try to play you. You know what I'm saying? About to post the link in the chat for the panel. And we gonna get into it. Round table. Is the DAZN becoming too expensive to the consumer? Are they now inundating us with pay-per-views the same way the PBC used to when they were on Showtime and Fox? Let's read the room and let's see what people have to say. Dani Lopez, que lo que manín. El Pervi. I think Tio is doing the fake out like Ryan did with Haney. You think so, bro? Country, you the first one here. Do you think that the DAZN is becoming too expensive for the consumer? Do you feel that way at the pump?
Not yet, but they're heading in that direction. If they keep increasing it, they will be they're heading in that direction or down that path.
But you don't think? But do you feel like they're there now to where you're like, Jesus Christ?
Not yet. No, I mean, for what we pay so far, I think we're getting our money's worth. A lot of people don't. I do.
Okay, Undefeated. What do you think? Do you think the DAZN is getting too expensive?
Um, I don't know, bro. Cause honestly, this is worth the money. This is I can't lie. This is worth the $80 and the what 45.
Really 90, yeah, it's really like
Yeah,
90. But I agree with you that to me, like, yeah, together, yeah, it's worth it together. Yeah.
compared to fucking let's not shit on Benavidez, but $80 for one fight. I mean, it's
Right.
yeah, like. But if you think about it, bro, cause plus you got monthly. I pay monthly, so you got to pay monthly. Plus, you got to pay for some pay per views now, bro. You can't fuck me both ways. I'm sorry.
Not
You're
both
better off.
holes, bro.
You're better off
Nah, nah,
staying for the year, man. For real.
nah. You either you gotta take your pick. You gotta take your pick, either in the pink or in the snake, bro. Not
And
both.
Devontae, what do you think? Do you think they're becoming too expensive?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, you got to pay for everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
me personally, I don't think it's expensive to me.
Let me read the super chat. Shout out to ASVP. If it was just the subscription, it'd be perfect. Not just for these events, but across the board. Round one, do you think the zone is charging too much? Do you think they're becoming too expensive to the consumer?
Well, for the bundle package for 90, that would be what, roughly 45 a fight.
Yep. This is the thing that by themselves, if you chose to buy one card and
Right.
not the other, it would be like 60. But with the
Right.
bundle package, you save. You know what I mean?
That's to entice the viewer to get the two, so that way they can sell on the both, which is $90 for two fights versus a Gervonta Davis for $90 for one fight, and a bullshit card.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Bullshit undercard.
Okay. And then as far as that other question about the face-off with Tszyu, because I got one of my mans down there right now covering. He's down there doing media, and he called me. We talked. I know a little bit behind the scene. What happened was one of the dudes went up to, I think it was Mike Coppinger that asked Barbosa the question about getting smacked with the egg in his face. And what you guys didn't see was Barbosa's family was like directly on the other side of the camera. So when the interview is over, they were feeling some kind of way. They heard Barbosa saying, the family saying, smack him back, smack him back.
Who's got a party
Then
going
that
on in
started-
the background, man?
Who's at a restaurant?
That started, I don't know. That started like a little bit of commotion or whatever. And it got back to some of like the Tszyu supporters that were on the right. And they were saying, yo, smack him back. Cuando tú te paras enfrente, mete una pecosa.
Sí, pero eso no es pero también eso no es miedoso because you slapped him, ¿no es verdad? He slapped that dude.
Bueno, but you want to leave it for the ring también. Porque entonces, tú sabes que tú no te vas a dejar llevar que te mete una pecosa en la cara tampoco.
No, but it does read, I don't know, it's because it's like, if it's about save it for the ring, then Tszyu shouldn't have slapped him, ¿no es verdad?
Yeah,
because he
no,
slapped
no,
him
verdad.
first.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm not going to even put myself through that. I'm going to walk away from you. You know what I'm saying?
Está bien, but está bien, vamos a ver. I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that, you didn't want to get slapped the way you slapped him.
Right.
It makes
sense. And that's
sense.
basically what he said to me. And then he was like, so why'd you ask, like the dude asked him, so why'd you ask him that question in front of his family? Like you trying to like gas him up to smack him. Like you forcing him to like say again, bring it up. Yo, you just gonna get smacked like that? The dude told Mark Carpenter, you act like you gassing him up so that we can get some more to the fight to try to sell more. We're already here. Like, why you putting that man through that in front of his family? But
I
they
guess
said all of this off the camera.
I mean, I get that, but that's kind of like Mike got a job to do. Like, I don't even hate on Mike no more. I don't even hate on these guys because these guys are difficult to deal with. Is the other thing that if Mike is asking Arnold, yo, what you think about that slap? Brody, that's a run-of-the-mill question that a motherfucker would have had before. If anything, that slap wasn't nothing.
Exactly.
We seen worse than that with Trevor Burbick and motherfucking Larry Holmes. We seen worse than that with Buster Douglas and old boy that he two-piece on the podium, right?
Nah, I told my boy, I said, well, if these dudes are gonna get sentimental, maybe they want to watch another sport.
Fucking
You know what I'm saying?
Morales Barrera, bro.
No verdad, putazo, puro putazo.
Puro
Bang, bang,
putazo.
bang, bang. Like, bro, like they was for real scrapping before the scrap.
Remember
Like,
when Terrence Crawford? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
I remember when Terrence Crawford tried to take a shot at Jose Benavidez, and he
Yeah.
like, dipped on him on the stage. He went, you know.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know, you know, we'll see. I don't think it's a big deal, but it's just outwardly, it's really not a good look because a lot of the shit about Tszyu and that particular fighter, it just tell a story that you really don't. This dude rattles you for some reason. He bothers you for some reason. We seen a lot of the interactions the last 3 or 4 years. We seen that Tszyu didn't want to fight that dude when they was at Top Rank. The other day, a couple of months ago, I seen a thing where Arnold came up to him. They was like at somebody else's fight, and Tszyu just kind of dipped off and left Arnold to argue with his father. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of weak, bro. He not here to see your father. He here to see you. How you gonna leave like that? You know what I mean? And this was all well before Arnold became his mandatory and shit like that. But it just looks a certain way. Shout out to King Lopez. Shout out to round 1, the Puerto Rican. Y'all dudes is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think it's value for money personally. I don't know what people are complaining about because even though there are more pay-per-views on a platform, they're still comparatively cheaper to everything else that's out there. What, $25 for Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank, but it delivered. That's like a fight of the year candidate right there. You know what I mean?
Fight of the year.
Let's fight like I ain't seen a fight that exciting all year.
So far.
You know what I'm saying? Now, how y'all feeling about this Dubois and Usyk, y'all? How y'all feeling about that?
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not that excited for some reason.
Do you think Daniel can do better undefeated?
Yes, I believe Daniel could do better. Usyk, he's at the age where he's gonna start turning the corner. You know, his age is gonna start to show up. Daniel's a younger guy. Daniel, he's coming off of some good wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he probably can look better. I don't know if he wins, but he probably can look better.
Devontae, how you feeling about that fight? Are you excited about that fight? Do you like that there's going to be a rematch, or would you have preferred to see something else?
I would prefer to see Parker versus Usyk, but Dubois, dude, he earned it. He earned it. He beat Miller. He beat Joshua. He earned it. So I'm not too mad at it.
Do you feel like he ducked the Parker fight? Because I see people saying that they don't.
No, or why would he duck Parker? I mean, he fighting Usyk. That's stupid.
All right. Round 1. Do you think that there's people out there round 1 that they think he didn't really get sick in Saudi? They think that that dude did not get sick in Saudi, right? He really just didn't want to fight Parker. Does that constitute a duck if he then fights Usyk?
Okay, same situation that homeboy there found himself. What's his name there that lost to Perez?
Charles Conwell? Charles
Conwell. Okay, Charles Conwell was right at the door for a title shot. He loses. Now Xander Zion is fighting for the vacant belt, and Charles Conwell is gonna have to watch him fight Perez now, and he had his shot. It's kind of like Daniel Dubois. Do you fight this fight right here when you at the cuff of the door to fight for all the belts to what we consider you knocked out Usyk with a body shot? So I'm pretty sure they're putting this all in his head. They're trying to tell him it's a much lucrative fight, a bigger fight. And I've seen dudes pull out on fights, and does it constitute as a duck? Yes, because we had an agreement. I went through a training camp for you, sir. Me and my, you know what I'm saying? We all came here. And then now, because of the fact that I'm a liability, because now it's obvious that if you thought you could beat me, you'd go through with the fight. Obviously, you fear me in some way, that you backed out of the fight just to get that fight for the belts. So does it make it right morally? But and I don't want to take anything away from Dubois because he's looking fucking great. But yeah, man, you ducked me.
All right, so that's 1 duck, one no duck. Country, is it a duck?
No,
No?
I don't think so. He just had other plans, and Parker just wasn't in it. But I mean, he's fought everybody else. I don't think he'd be afraid of fighting Parker. Is Parker any more better than Usyk?
That's a good point. I mean, a duck is supposed to be taking an easier fight. That's a good point.
Yeah.
If you ducking this to fight somebody that's easier, that's a good point. That's a good point. So 2 no duck, 1 duck. Caesar, is it a duck? That's true.
That's
All
what
right.
I thought.
No, listen. I haven't butted in to ask what we're talking about. The question, who's ducking who again? Because I came late.
It sounds like a machine gun.
Your connection is like jacked up, bro.
You can't hear me?
Let me go to. I can't, bro.
You're cutting in and out, man.
Yeah, you cutting it.
Basically, he agrees with me, so that's
Okay,
2-2. That's what that means.
Let me go to Undefeated, because Undefeated never has a bad signal. That's how I know he sell drugs, because his phone always works. His phone always work. Like, bro, that dude could be standing right next to you. Undefeated, duck or no duck?
It's hard to say that it was a duck. No, actually, no, I don't. Bro, if you went through that training camp, you fly your ass all the way to Saudi, you might as well fight him. The only way you pulled out because why? I mean, you can say that, Usyk is a tougher fight, which it is. But it's like, what if you're there, why not just fight beat him?
Do you believe he really got sick undefeated?
No. I believe they were like, hey, bro, you know what? You can probably lose this fight, or we could pull out. You seen Schofield just got sick. You could use that excuse, and we could go for Usyk. You got his belt.
Good
point. And just on side note, I hope Alicia whoops his sister, bro.
Oh yeah, his sister talking too much shit. She getting on my fucking nerves. Like, homegirl, you running from a girl that has 5 fights, but you talking. It's like, get out of here, B. Like, go fight that Brazilian, then talk shit. When you fight that Brazilian, then you could talk shit. Till then, you sound crazy. You really ducking a girl that got like. She really ducking a girl that got 5 fights. You know what I'm saying? Looking at everybody like, how do you sound, fam? That girl got less fights than you, and you scared to death. Next thing, we know that I just uploaded a video about it. My thoughts on it. Devontae, do you think that Sebastian just ducked Xander Zayas?
That's a bona fide duck.
That's a duck.
Yeah, because going back to the Dubois thing, he ain't known for pulling out of fights. He was if he say he's sick, I believe him. The dude fought everybody. Schofield, now that's a duck. Now Xander with Sebastian, you didn't fight Crawford. You didn't fight. You ain't fighting nobody that you're supposed to fight.
That's true.
That's true.
That's more of a bona fide duck.
Yeah, and you gave your belt up. Yeah, it's a duck.
It's a country. You agree with that? It's a duck.
Yeah, I definitely do. Because he should have fought. He should have fought Xander. And the fact that he's stepping. When I saw the article, I was actually quite surprised, but not surprised. I mean, he's infamous for kind of doing stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like, what? Really? You're gonna step aside? You don't know. So yeah, no, it's a duck.
Undefeated,
is it a duck?
Motherfucking dog.
Yeah, I think it's a duck. I don't know why you didn't fight that motherfucker, but yeah, you telling me you busted this dude with your elbow, busted this dude in the forehead, and that motherfucker still was whooping your ass?
He was.
You gonna go back for some more when you could fight this younger, no power Puerto Rican, bro? Like, all right, so shit, pick your poison.
It's a duck, though.
Yeah, it's a duck, bro.
All right, so that's 3 ducks. Round 1, is it a duck?
For 2 reasons, I think it is a duck. Because of the fact that you vacated a belt to avoid fighting your mandatory. That is a clear sign of a duck because you don't want to face that champion. Now, the second reason is if you think the excuse is you vacated the belt to fight Tszyu in a more lucrative money fight, when you could have just fought Xander Zion, then fought Tim Tszyu and kept all your belts by avoiding one man and vacating a belt. That is you admitting you do not want to engage with your number one mandatory. It is a duck.
Ignacio, is it a duck?
Of course it is. Jules, I told you the PBC was not going to work with Top Rank, and this just proved it.
No, bueno. Ellos hicieron the fight with Keyshawn y Edwin de los Santos. They did that one. Y di que ellos van a hacer Stephen Fulton con Shaki Foster. So, I mean, to some degree, that if they get that one over the line, the Foster versus Fulton, well, that's two fights they're working on together. Pero este diferente because, well, this is a Samson Lukowicz fighter. ¿Me entiende? Que you see, you kind of... Bueno, Edwin de los Santos is a Samson Lukowicz fighter, pero ese tipo no... Él no ¿qué se va a hacer con ese tipo, man?
But they're not champions.
There you go, Drew. There you go. It's like, yeah, you could see one guy's expendable because he's not a champion. He's never going to be a draw. Like, God bless Edwin, but it's the truth. You're not going to go on to sell 1 million platins on Broadway. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, if Top Rank want to use him, go ahead, because we not using him. So go ahead. But with Sebastian, you see the bullshit. Drew, is it a duck?
I'm gonna try this. Based on PBC logic, the business side says it's a duck because Bebo left the belt, but this is strategy and business for Fundora and Samson to vacate and let No Limit put up all the money, and we don't put up none of our money. But it's a duck. But you see the logic.
Do you think that's going to be the structure, though, that No Limit's going to put up all the cash? Because they're talking about doing it in Vegas.
Do they want to lose? Jules, we saw the audience there for the last two Fundora. Remember, Jules, they left the fucking arena after Isaac beat Rolly in the first fight.
Yeah. And you saw the last one with Cordell Booker. There was nobody there. That I don't got nothing against Sebastian, by the way, but real is real. Yeah, you don't draw flies to shit, homeboy. When you got knocked out by Brian Mendoza, it wasn't nobody there. When you fought Tim Tszyu, it wasn't nobody there. When you fought Cordell Booker, it wasn't nobody. Like, it's reality.
And you
like,
said
it,
Jules. You said it, and De Lo Mio round one said it. If it was about money, you would have been took the 8-figure payday to fight Crawford on a turkey card. If it was about money.
Exactly. That opportunity was there, and it would have paid you well. You didn't fight for that fight. From the moment you won those belts, you decided you were not going to fight Crawford, or that decision was made for you by Samson, because the night of the fight, he said, Crawford got to wait. We want to fight Spence. And esa fue la excusa for months and months and months and months and months. So it seems that the panel unanimously agrees it is a duck from Sebastian Fundora. He did duck Xander Zayas. Two-part question, though. Country, do you like the rematch, though? Do you like it?
Between Dubois and
No, you fucking idiot.
Your country's jerking off.
Hey, I'm a little fucking distracted, all right? Give me a break. And fuck you,
Stop looking at the chat.
Fucking jerking off, country.
He's looking at the chat, monitoring the chat.
I'm not even looking at the chat. I was doing something else.
Stop watching porn during my live, bro. To hear your erection. To hear it.
I didn't know I was that talented.
I'll go. You know what? I'll go.
I want to start at the top. Country, are you for or against a Fundora versus Tszyu rematch? Are you for it or are you against it?
I'm for it because I think the cut was a freak thing, and I think it would have been, if that didn't happen, it would have been a very different fight. But the problem now, what makes it more interesting, and also now it puts a little doubt, is Timmy got destroyed by Bakram. Is that going to be the same Tim Tszyu? I mean, he looked like he came back in that last fight, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, go back to watching your porn. Undefeated.
Fuck you.
Undefeated.
Hey, man, with that shirt, you look like you play dominoes with David Morrell, motherfucker.
Fuck you. Undefeated. Do you like the rematch or do you not like the rematch? Like, no, fuck that fight.
No, I like the rematch, bro. I like the rematch. Cause I don't know what's gonna happen with this motherfucking Australian, bro. I don't know if he's gonna get some PTSD, if he's gonna, I don't know. Like he should have beat Fundora the first time if it wasn't for the cut. But I like the fight. Let's see it
Okay,
again.
so two guys like the fight. Devontae, do you like the fight? I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
You
That's
watching porn too?
100% true.
You watching porn too, man?
Did Al get him?
Devontae's watching porn. Domo said, unless you're Gabby, you're getting protected. Drew, do you like the rematch?
I do not like it, and here's why.
Wow, you don't like it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. Because now I gotta wait even longer for Keith Thurman to get knocked the fuck out, which was what I was looking forward to.
Yeah, but Drew, in fairness, did you really think Keith was gonna go back down there? I didn't.
No, I just thought they were gonna make the fight.
I
This was out of left
convinced
field.
he's gonna do. I wasn't convinced he was gonna do that. In fairness, that he was gonna go back. You going to Australia for Brock Jarvis, right? Is like coming to America for Cornflake Lamana. It's like, well, yeah, I'd do it for him because I don't whoop his ass.
But now, what does this mean, though? Does this mean Keith Thurman's gonna fight Arrow? We're gonna hear him wait on the sidelines for some bullshit. I just want to keep Thurman out of here. But I do like the rematch. But I don't like the fallout of what this means. Like, we knew Top Rank, and that lets you know Top Rank PBC, they're just floundering right now. They don't want to work together.
Kind of. I mean, because they did do Davis versus De Los Santos. In fairness, that is a fight that they worked on together.
But like you said, you can give De Los Santos 100,000 plantains, and he's happy for a payday.
That's true. All you gotta do is get that dude a pack of juicy fruit, and he'll fight. Ignacio, do you like the rematch or do you not like the rematch?
I don't mind the rematch, but I don't love it. I don't love it.
Did you like the Zayas fight better?
I thought it was a fresher matchup, and maybe it would have been a more intriguing matchup.
Okay. Okay. Real talk. For or against the rematch?
No, I'm all for it, bro.
You for it?
Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. This is exactly what Tim needs.
Your foreskin? What?
Foreskin.
Your
Yeah, he needs foreskin.
He likes foreskin?
Oh my god.
Fun fact. Your skin on your eyelids is made out of the same stuff as your foreskin, if you have foreskin. It's a fun fact.
I believe it.
It's true.
Country's checking right now because he's jacking off watching porn.
Exactly.
One more word out of you, Drew, and I'm gonna squirt in your fucking eye, man.
Oh
Real
shit.
talk wasn't here for the first. Real talk wasn't here for the first question. Real talk. Do you think the zone is getting too expensive? Do you think they're charging too much too often?
No, man. I mean, they're having a lot more products, so I can't really complain.
Ignacio, same question. Do you think the zone is becoming too expensive? Are they charging too much too often?
Honestly, I'm going to say no, only because they're going out of their way to give us good matchups. We're not getting a bunch of stay busy or fucking tune-ups. If that's what the case was, then I would say, yeah, they're definitely overdoing it. But the fact that we're getting a lot of matchups that we want to or don't complain about, that's a good sign. So that means then they're doing their job as far as they're making fights we want to see.
Second part of the panel tonight, second question, as it pertains to Friday's fights, which one is going to be an upset, Ignacio?
Ramirez Haney has the biggest chance of being the upset.
Ooh.
Ramirez Haney. Okay, real talk. Which fight has the biggest potential on Friday to be an upset?
I concur.
Oh, two Ramirez Haney. Devontae, same question. I think he's still jerking off. All right, Drew.
Bro, what's so many niggas gooning in the chat for?
Drew, same question. What fight on Friday has the most potential to be an upset?
I'm gonna round it out 3 in a row with that because I don't think Haney Barbosa Teal's an upset. I'm going with Haney Ramirez.
Oh shit, 3.
We've seen Teal been avoiding Ramirez for how many years, Jules?
Yeah, but the upset is based
I mean,
on how
Tio's been avoiding Barbosa for how many years?
the upset is based on the bookies' perception of the
Yes.
fight, and to my knowledge, the bookies have Tofimo the favorite. They have him the
Yes.
favorite over
But
Arnold.
the bookies don't know Tio like we do. What does Tio always do when he's the overwhelming favorite? He wets the
Fuck
fucking bed.
What's the fucking bet? Country, you agree with that? You agree with that, Country? Or are you still jerking off?
I really think that the Haney fight's going to be an upset, man.
Wow, so we got at least 4 guys on the panel that are going with Jose to upset Devin. Am I hearing it right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds about right to me.
Country, do you
Wow.
use scented Jergens or baby oil?
I don't do any of that shit.
Oh, he spit shines it on.
Shout
All
out
right,
to
here we
Domo.
go.
Unless, all right, yeah, I read that one. Second question. Why do I keep saying that? Next question. Do you guys want to see Conor Benn versus Eubank 2? Do you want to see that?
Yeah, why not?
1 year.
I'd rather see Conor Benn versus fucking Erislandy Lara.
That wasn't the question, whore.
Yeah, that wasn't a question, dog. Like, you coming out with
I
these
don't want to
Jim
see it.
Jim-
No, I don't want to see it again.
1 for, 1 against. Country, do you want to see it again or no? This dude is jerking off all he fucking
damn.
comes on here to fucking jerk off. He's fucking jerking off.
He's looking at his helmet head right now.
So
Motherfucker, I was in the bathroom taking a piss. Shit, give me a break.
Taking a piss. He was taking
Is
a
that
piss.
what the kids call it now?
He was wiping the nut off.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
Do you want to see Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. 2? Yay or nay?
Yay, I do, definitely. That first fight
2
was
yay.
great. I definitely want to see it.
It's 2 yay. Round 1, do you want to see it again or should they go their separate ways?
Shit, I'm still waiting to get asked the question from the Tszyu Fundora and then the fight of the night. But no, I want to see it again.
So that's 3 guys that want to see it again. Personally, I could do without it. I think it was great. I do think it was great in terms of an aesthetically pleasing fight, but I see no need for a rematch. I don't actually. Y'all don't need to do that again. The money is there, obviously, and the interest is there. And if you did it again, it would be just as big, if not bigger, than the first one, because now people know what they're buying. So more people are going to buy it. They say it did over 1 million buys in total. For those that don't know, this may
I
be.
believe it. I believe it.
That's great.
This may be the most, maybe the most successful event that Turkey has put on. It might be.
Yep.
That's saying something. Shout out to motherfucking Domo. Late night boxing cocks. Yeah, that's what Country's up to, bro. He's stroking his fucking ego over there,
In your
bro.
fucking gay dreams, pal.
I mean, Jules, right? Like, if you think about it, like, as a side of being healthy, no, I don't want to see the fight again. Conor Benn Chris Eubank Jr. put himself through too much. But let's be honest, what other fight is gonna make that kind of money? And this they could write off for. Neither of them are gonna be champion. They're not gonna do anything.
No, diga eso. If Conor can get Mario in the ring,
I'm sorry,
he can win.
He could probably win. Yeah,
This
but I was
is
thinking
the
Chris
weird
Eubank.
thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Chris won the fight, right? Chris won the fight. But Chris needs that fight more than Conor. Because Conor's
Absolutely.
younger, because Conor has less miles on the odometer. He has 1 or 2 more options than Chris does. That Chris, okay, how many other fights can you be in that pay this much? And that you can actually win, because you actually won this one. How many more fights like that do you have? Whereas Conor, if he goes back to welter, Ryan is there, Devin is there, maybe you could get Mario Barrios in the ring, or the winner of Barrios versus Pacquiao. That Conor has options that Chris doesn't have. So even though Chris won the fight, Chris needs that rematch more than Conor. Not to avenge a loss, but like I said, how many more paydays like that do you have? You're not gonna make that money fighting Yanni back. You're not, or Lara, or Radames. So,
And also, how many more times can he make 160 safely?
Verdad. By me, he
Go
should
ahead.
probably take the rest of the year off and wait for Canelo to beat the shit out of him. That's what
Absolutely.
he's.
Because that's
That's what
what's
he
gonna
should do.
happen.
He should. because then you get a life-changing stimulus from Canelo.
Yeah.
May
You're not gonna beat nobody
2026.
good at
money if you can't
168.
spend it while you're drooling and everybody else is spending your money.
I'm saying you're not gonna beat nobody else at 168. Now, speaking of 168, they just made Bektemir Melikuziev versus Fulcrum. What's the guy's
Yeah,
name?
Dennis. I mean, yeah, I think it's Dennis Fulgrim.
Hold on.
Have
My
you seen him
daughter's
fight,
moving around. I
Jules?
gotta yell at her. What do you want? It's over there. It's under the thing.
You guys think that the next generation of Eubank and Benn is going to be female the next time we see the fight?
Possibly. I mean, I wouldn't rule that out. But yeah, Bektemir's career is so weird. It's supposed to be a WBA eliminator. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Caleb Plant the WBA Reggie champion at 168? Isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so.
For the
Is he?
WBA, yes.
He
After
has
beating
a.
McCumbee, right?
I think he has a WBA something. I don't know if it's a Reggie or an interim, but he does have a WBA
Oh,
something.
they're the same. It's the same
Oh
shit.
fuck!
Wait,
So my question then is, who wins the fight? Bektemir Melikuziev or Caleb Plant? Don't get fucking quiet. Y'all came up here to be quiet?
I think I'd go back to Mir.
One Bektemir.
yeah, back to bully.
I got
Back to Bully.
Caleb
That's
Plant.
one for
Yeah,
Caleb.
I got Plant, although his gas tank concerns me a bit. I got Plant.
2-2. Plant Bektemir Melikuziev. Come on now.
I'm gonna go back.
No,
3 for
Plant be
Beck.
gashing in fights. He's winning.
4 for Beck.
Mm.
Beck wins the fight. Second question, in association with Caleb Plant, do you guys think he beats Charlo?
Now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Drinking or a fight?
He already slapped the dog shit out of this dude,
And
bro.
Jules,
Like,
he has
come
the
on.
interim, it says.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I if he didn't have that gas tank issue, then I would pick him if he could maintain. But you got knocked down by Trevor McCumbee, bro.
Didn't Maul
That's
go
not a-
12 with Benavidez?
Yeah.
Por eso.
But he
and doesn't Maul have a serious fucking boozing problem?
got some kind of fucking problem.
Yeah,
He
and
got
isn't
something
Maul
going on.
gay?
Nah, he just beats up broads. He's a weirdo. Villain
Because he's gay.
Villain has joined the panel. I'm going to ask you the question I asked everybody at the top of the show. Do you believe that the zone is becoming too expensive?
Well, the fact that I didn't renew them last time that they came up, I'd say yeah. I will say though, I was somewhat interested in possibly signing back on because they have expanded their coverage. What I mean by that is the time that I canceled them, I wasn't getting the return on investment that I wanted, and then they started picking up a lot smaller shows. So if you're really dedicated to watching boxing, there's sometimes 3 nights a week you can actually get DAZN coverage. The problem is that I think they're starting to have maybe too many pay-per-views though at the cost of what they want us to pay. So yeah, but I think that I want to say that the value has slightly increased since they've expanded their coverage.
Second question. Do you believe that Daniel Dubois ducked Joseph Parker by fighting Alexander Usyk?
On what planet would you wanting to fight for the heavyweight championship would ever make you make that a duck under any circumstances? Maybe I'm old school, but the whole premise is to become a champion, right? I mean, money's great, and these guys are going to make a lot more money than the average person. But ultimately, you want your name in that record book. So if I have the opportunity to fight to become the heavyweight champion of the world, I don't give a shit who it is. That's the fight I'm going to take. And in passing on anybody else will never be a duck, ever.
But let's look at it this way. I forgot who on the panel said it. I think it was round one, that you did sign a contract. You
Right.
did make an agreement, you know? And if you treat it like it's an either or situation, when it's not, if you like your chances, you fight Joseph, you beat him, and Usyk is there.
But let me ask you this question. What if you don't have that opportunity again? What if that opportunity does not come up? What if
That's a good point.
What
That's
if
a good
this
point.
is your only shot again? And again, you know, we can't play Monday morning quarterback. But if I look in 5 years in the future, and I realized that that was my last shot I was ever going to have, just whatever the circumstances being. Say he loses to Parker, right? He's back down at the bottom of the list, right, of importance. I know it sounds selfish, and I'm not into breaking contracts, but I think there has to be the exception to the rule. And you becoming the heavyweight champion of the world, I think that has to take a precedence over everything else, because you never know if you're ever going to get that shot again. Honestly,
That's a good point. He didn't know if that.
Honestly, if you're asking me, I think it is a duck because you're a champion. You're supposed to be a heavyweight champion, and it's not an either or situation. Usyk has already said he had 2 more fights, so
but you agree,
you know
grown
Usyk's
men
gonna
change
want
their
his
mind all
belt
the
back.
time. But people
And
change.
you can all. I mean, I honestly had Dubois beating Parker, so it's like you're leaving money on the table, and 2, you're avoiding a fight to go fight. Yes, somebody who's already beaten you, but to avenge a loss. But like that fight is always there waiting for you if you can get past this other person. And if you
I'm a
can't, then
little.
you didn't deserve it anyways.
I'm a little bit ambivalent because okay, so you would have fought Joseph back in February, right? The fight with Usyk is in July, mid-July, which is negotiable. You could have did it in July, maybe you could do it in August. And that kind of tells me that it wasn't really an either or situation. In the time that you had, you could have fought Parker, beat him, and then fought Usyk, unless you were afraid you weren't going to beat Parker. Well, then it becomes a duck.
I got a question, bro. What are the odds that old Fish Eyes doesn't rob Usyk?
Oh, I mean, like, if you want my honest opinion, they're going to try to jerk him in that fight. Like they are. They're going to try to fuck him. The
Like
reason,
hard.
really hard in both holes.
Oh shit!
But the reason that I'm confident is this is not a normal guy. This guy whole fucking title run was on the road. He's always been the away fighter. When he fought Breedis, when he fought Glavatsky,
Yeah,
when he
like he
fought
got a fucking
Gassiev,
decision in Gassiev's backyard, like in fucking Russia.
right? So it's really a question of, it's not a question of if they're going to try to fuck him. They are going to try to fuck him. The question is, can he knock Daniel out? We have an answer already. Yeah, he can. We saw he can. We saw he did with a fucking jab. So I'm of the opinion he will stop him again. And I'll let y'all nurse with that one, because I gotta go take a shit. And it's gonna be a long shit that wraps around the toilet.
God damn.
Is
Solid.
anybody on the panel expecting surprises in that rematch? Does anybody have Daniel winning?
I have a much closer fight now. I mean, with the performances that Daniel has shown, I think the fight was actually fairly close. You're always going to have the debate: was that a knockdown or was that a low blow? But you know, Daniel has looked better. Doesn't look like there's a lot of those flaws that we saw where he was open a lot more to getting countered. So I think with Usyk being older and going through the wars, also with Fury, I wouldn't be surprised if Dubois. I got a 50-50 fight now, honestly. I think he's probably the best heavyweight that would have the opportunity right now to beat him, to beat Usyk.
No.
I don't. Well, who else? I mean,
Caballero.
All right. Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you guys a separate question. I didn't want to
Because
change the
Caballero
topic.
does clean body work.
Yeah, that's good. Check
but
this out.
against what? But against what competition?
That's true. That's
No,
true.
that's fair. No, that's fair. But I'm saying I think out of everybody, he'd have a much better shot than Daniel.
Raul was asking us a question though.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys. Do you guys think that any of these fights coming up in May here, May 2nd, May 3rd, May 4th, if any of them can live up to the expectation or the event that Conor Benn and Chris Eubank fight? Do you
Fuck
think
no.
any? No.
Nah,
You don't think
No.
none of these fights can
the
do that?
performance was way too fire, bro.
Because
That shit was
the
fight of the
two main
year.
events, the 2 main events on the 3rd and the 4th are really fucking stay busy fights.
Yeah.
Neither of those
Literally.
guys, neither of the guys that are challenging the A side, have a legitimate shot to win that fight.
Literally.
You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
like what you got to
Hit the nail on the head.
understand was that what made that card great was the quality of the fight. Where what makes this weekend so great is the quantity of how many cards we're getting. I think that's what makes it
Well, they were also
more.
fighting for
Yeah,
much
but
more. I
now
mean, there may not have been a title or anything, but there was
here's
a
the
lot on
secret.
the line for
Yeah.
that.
That's a legacy fight
Check
for England.
check
Yeah.
it out. Check it out. Here's a sequence. We go into the Tszyu Barbosa fight. Fight starts breaking out during the 4th round. All of a sudden, late 5th round, Barbosa catches Tszyu. Tszyu wobbles. Tszyu catches Barbosa, but Barbosa's not phased. He comes on strong. He knocks Tszyu down. They give him a standing
I
8
think
count.
Tio gets
Tszyu
his
gets
shit
up.
pushed in.
It hits him. Splits Barbosa's eye. The bell rings. What if we get some shit like that?
It still won't live up to what we just saw, bro.
You
That
know,
shit was
all
crazy.
right. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, speaking of that, have y'all seen the fucking ring they got in New York?
No, what's it look
Jesus.
like?
Bro, it's I saw it on Instagram. That shit looks crazy. Like, but I heard it's
What
supposed
is
to
it? Big
rain
as fuck or
Friday.
small or
They got the
what?
Big or
tarp though
small?
on it. They got the tarp up
You
there.
got a tarp on it? Yeah, but I heard, yeah, it's supposed to. I heard it's gonna rain Friday and Saturday. Hopefully, it doesn't affect it. But yo, they got
What's the
it.
ring size? Does anyone know?
I don't know the ring size, but they got it is literally straight center smack, bro. Times
They got
Square.
they got the heaters. They got the heaters for the fighters, and they got the tarp because
You
they're
know that
expecting 51% chance rain.
that's the thing is like that's the only reason I don't like outdoor fights because it just the dynamic of it doesn't seem to work out. And then also, with the weather, it just doesn't feel like as clean of a fight as you'll get in something indoors. I personally never liked outdoor
Nah, because
boxing.
that Ali and George Foreman out Rumble in the Jungle, it was outside in Zaire. It was like crazy. Like Central Park, man. Yo, a fight actually breaks out in that ring. And these dudes start standing in the middle of the ring, slugging it out. That shit's gonna go in an uproar.
Well, right, but if you're dealing with the weather, I mean, if you have blowing rain, I
I don't,
mean,
man. Listen, when you get me into watching a great fight, fuck the weather. If it's a snooze fest, now I'm gonna be mad.
Nah, but they should have did that. Honestly, they should have did that shit in California, y'all. Honestly, you got a bunch
No,
of West
yeah.
Coast. You got a bunch of West Coast guys on that card. Why are they in New York? Arnold is from the West Coast. Jose is from the West Coast. Ryan and Devin are from the West Coast. The
Yeah.
fuck y'all doing in New York?
They
Tail
doing it in
got
New York. They're
got
going
fan
back
base.
to the scene of the crime, Jules.
Tail
In New
got
York
fan
is where
base in
this
the West
Devin
Coast.
Haney Ryan thing started. They going
Yeah.
back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, but look, it's gonna rain on Friday, bro.
Alright,
It
but,
ain't like
you
you
know,
gonna have.
yeah.
It's not gonna be. In other words, if you do a fight in Times Square, you're doing it with the intention of creating a spectacle in a bustling area, because everybody knows it's a bunch of people at any given time at Times Square, right? Well, it don't get to be that if it's raining outside, bro. The idea was to do fights in exotic locations. I'm of the opinion they should have stuck with the Alcatraz idea, bro.
I thought that.
Yeah,
I
Jules,
was
but
under the opinion that
just to push
Ryan went out
back.
there.
Oh.
Ryan went out there to prove to the world he could fight in New York again and not pop dirty. Fight Rolly. Devin fights his guy in New York where all this happened. I thought that was basically, you know what I'm saying?
If it was Devin and Ryan in the main event, I could see.
But they on the same card, Devin and Ryan. And then you got to remember, like, if Ryan passes everything, which proves that he fights in New York, plus fought clean, passed the tests, beats Rolly, Devin fights his guy, they're in New York. I mean, that's what I took it for. That's how I looked at it.
Jules, yeah, I was gonna say, having been to Frisco in the Bay Area multiple times, the only issue with having a fight in Alcatraz, unless you were gonna put the ring inside of the actual fucking prison, like they did in the Wesley Snipes movie, it's cold as fuck at night in the Bay Area.
Yeah, but
So
they could have dealt with that, bro. Get a couple of space heaters, you're good to fucking go, bro. Come on. Y'all have been good, B. Like it seemed
Fucking New
crazy to me.
Yorker in his space heater.
it just seems crazy to me that look, the idea was to do fights in exotic locations to create a spectacle, but it can't be a spectacle if it's fucking raining outside, and it says it's a 70% chance to rain. So it's like, it's
They
going
should have
rain,
did
bro.
like in the fucking Golden Gate Bridge or like Mount Rushmore or some shit.
Yeah,
Man,
like
being a weather reporter is the only job you could be fucking wrong every day and still keep your job, bro. Alright, they telling us the weather a week out. I'm not sure that, you know what I mean.
hey, I'm watching that shit and it ain't changed, bro. I'm just saying that I don't just look at it once. I've been watching that shit and it's like, yeah, it's gonna rain. I hope it don't. I hope it could be what they want it to be, but that's not really a good look. That damn, y'all went as far as building a whole thing in Times Square, but it's gonna be raining. So what you think? People gonna be outside with umbrellas? I don't think so, bro.
No.
I don't think so, bro.
Okay, let's say the weather holds
I don't know.
up.
Ryan got a lot of gay fans.
Yo,
He
let's say the
does,
weather
I mean.
holds up. Let's say the weather holds up, and let's say a fight breaks out in the ring, right? You think Central Park won't go up in an uproar like in Cheers? You don't think we could actually, like mirror what Conor Benn and Chris Eubank? There's no fight on these cards.
I don't think that. I do not think that.
You don't think there's no magic here?
No, I've been saying it ain't no. I've been saying it ain't no magic in America.
I'm asking.
The only fights that it's like it's potential fights that could elicit that level of interest, right? Like Canelo versus Benavidez was one of them. Whether you like Benavidez or not, that was one of them that, like, yeah, if y'all did that, people gonna come out for that. Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, I know Shakur boring and all of that. I understand that, but if you made it, yeah, people gonna show up for that. And Devin,
they will come.
And Devin before that, and Tofimo before that. You know, when Tofimo was actually saying back in 2020 that if you would have followed that up right after that, right after he beat Lomachenko, if you would have did Gervonta Davis versus Tofimo Lopez right after that, bro, that shit would have been big because all the Spanish people would have came to fuck with Tofimo and root him on. He was hot at the time. People didn't know he was a dickhead yet. And obviously Gervonta gonna bring all his homosexuals and all his gay dudes, all his down low fans, and they're gonna be jerking off during the fight like country. So it would have been fucking big, bro. You know what I mean?
How do you know that? How do you know that country's jerking off during fights? You got
You don't hear that?
A person in the chat said he's giving himself
you don't
a
hear
stranger.
that? He's giving himself. He's giving. Yeah, like.
I thought
it sounds like when you're waxing leather shoes.
Yeah.
But to get back to the point, the fights that had that extra, that magic, that they're not just good fights, but they're actually big fights where there is a grassroots demand. Now there are not that many of them. Now, one of the few ones that remain, and that's if they even make it there, is Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. That if they both handle business on Friday, when they fight, yeah, it'll be big. Here's the problem. They want to do it in Saudi. Damn. They're not going to do that here, bro. So yo, it's fucked, bro. It's fucked. And the guys are going to do it in Saudi because y'all remember what Turkey said. The fights in Saudi, when they're there, they pay more than if you're fighting in America. So the fighters are going to try to optimize their earnings and fight wherever they get paid the most. So there are not a lot of magical fights in America right now. There actually aren't.
Yeah. There's no, because that fight was magical. That even the promoters hated each other. Over here, you just got the dads that hate each other. Like, that shit's gay.
That shit is gay, bro. Like, and they have more fights that, look, maybe they're not on the scale of Eubank and Benn, but if you told people Callum Smith versus Anthony Yard in the UK, yeah, they're gonna fucking come out for that, bro. They are,
especially the Brits.
If you told people Fabio Wortley versus fucking Joe Joyce, yeah, they're gonna, because they know they're gonna throw down. Whereas here, you could have good fighters here, and even then, motherfuckers don't care. Like over here, like I think America's grossly overrated as a boxing market. It's really not what it was. So it is what it is.
Yeah. At this point, the boxing market in fucking America has been oversaturated and abused.
Yeah, you know how they overbearing at a fight and shit. That's how it is here in the United States, bro. It's been so over marinated. It's just growing mold. It's just
Yeah,
no
Let me
good.
ask you.
that the people aren't even. It's to the point where the people don't care anymore, and that's the most dangerous point. People being frustrated is not bad because it means they still care. If there's a fight that they argue about and they talk about and all the shit, that's still good because that accentuates a demand. But when it reaches a point to where, bro, they don't even fucking care, bro. They don't care about Tofimo, for example. They don't care about him. They don't really care about Devin outside of the Ryan Garcia fight. Some people like him, some people hate him, and other people they just like Ryan. So there's still something there. But with a lot of these other guys, nobody fucking cares, bro. They
You
don't
gotta
care.
you gotta
Jules, you
look
know
at
what that's called? Apathy.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got to look at it
Yep.
this way. So whenever you're making a movie or you're building something up, you want to try to bring the casual fan in to watch the movie, right? And Marvel's done a good job at that because they continue stories. The problem you're going to run into is you're going to have a guy like Tank Davis who will fight. You have a big fight like when he fought Ryan, a lot of eyes on it, and then they drop the ball. They let it marinate 2-3 years. It goes away. If you're gonna want, I mean, as much as I dislike the WWE, as much as I dislike wrestling, they continue storylines. Just gets the common average person interested. When you have these big gaps, 8 months, a year, 2 years, before
Yep.
you make these fights that actually people care about, there's so many other options out there when it comes to entertainment and ways to spend your dollar. If you don't
So
keep
true.
people engaged, then they're going to
So true.
lose. And that's one thing you can say that outside the United States.
Because
Over
while these fucking boxers are not boxing each other, you can watch Major League Baseball.
right
You could
or
watch the
boxing
NFL.
or basketball or
It
NFL
kind of
or
blows
you
my fucking mind when I explain to people that I waited like 3 years for Usyk versus Fury.
they
Yeah,
think you're
and
insane.
I think that, and I said this on another live, that I blame the fighters. I think they have too much autonomy. The reason it takes long is because of them. If this were operating on a system where things are happening in a timely fashion, then you can
Yeah,
keep.
bring back slave contracts.
Yeah, like bring back the mob, bro. Bring back the mafia. Like shit was better.
And then
Shit
start
was better.
breaking legs, bro.
Shit was start threatening these fighters, threaten their families. Like, yo, if you don't fucking fight, dog, your fucking dog is gonna die
Threatening
tonight.
their families.
You don't fucking fight, bro, we gonna kill your whole aquarium, bro. All right?
No, not
Jules, just
fluffy.
to give you
Not
a
fluffy.
crazy example of how often guys used to fight back in the day versus the bullshit we get now. There was a story about how before the first fight between Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard, they both fought 4 times in less than 15 months before
Oh,
that first fight happened. We're
Jesus.
never going to see guys do that kind of activity
Not
before a
these
major
guys.
fight again.
Not these guys. In other
Nope.
parts of the world, there are fighters that keep a similar schedule, right? But they're not the prima donnas. They're not the Hasadidi ones, the ones with all the money behind them. And I equate that to, okay, the fighters have too much autonomy now because their autonomy goes hand in hand with the decline of the sport. They make the fights too fucking difficult to make. Case in point, why is Sebastian not fighting fucking Xander? Well, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I like the Zoo rematch. I'll take it. But this is what I mean. They're like, yo, you should have to fight that dude, bro. You should have to.
Well,
You got
give you
too many. You got too many fucking options now.
You
Is
know
the
that
problem?
I don't.
So
That's why I don't like bringing this point up all the time, right? Because they already give me shit about it. But I gotta give them credit. That's why I like a fighter such as Naoya Inoue. He fights 4 times a year,
Yeah.
and he has 4 belts. He's putting the most on the line. He's giving a guy an opportunity to win 4 belts in one night.
Mhm.
When do it's hard enough to get a phone call for 1 belt. You're getting an offer for 4, and this guy's freely going out there.
Bro, that dude
Title
make me
defense after
proud
title
to be
defense.
Japanese, bro. Like that dude,
Bro,
he
Yeah, that's
just
why I
want to
can't
fight,
stand when
bro.
dudes say
nice,
he
man.
ducked MJ. That shit don't make no fucking sense.
It does. It doesn't. It doesn't. And no one should believe that. That man possesses no threat. And then they say he's ducking MJ. Well, then let me ask you a question. Who do you got in the fight?
And watch,
All
and
right.
exactly, and you'll see the bullshit. Like, oh, you got MJ, so do you want to put $500 on MJ? Since you, no, I don't bet. Yeah, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Hey,
You see what I
hey,
mean?
with Sebastian out the picture, does that mean that we're closer to getting Ortiz versus Xander?
I think so. But no. See,
Well,
no,
they
it breaks
already.
down different now because the thing is, Ortiz has the WBC interim, so really that brings Ortiz closer to the winner of Fundora versus Tszyu. That's that because
Right, because
you
that's the
dropped
belt
the
that's on the line.
you dropped the brown belt, so Xander gets to go fight for the doodoo brown belt, but Sebastian still has the green one. So
He's gonna fight Perez
now
for
I'll
that
tell you
brown
what,
belt.
like this is now here's the separate thing. Undefeated. Don't
Yo.
be a fucking bitch. Who do
Okay.
you have winning the rematch?
Between Fundora and
Yep.
Zoo.
Yep.
Nah, Dubois and Usyk.
I gotta go with Zoo.
One for Zoo. Country, are you done jerking off?
In your eye, bitch.
Home run.
You got Country.
I got Zoo, man.
Two for Zoo. Two for Zoo. Ignacio, how do you see it?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Tim just because I'm not a fan of the fact that he's had those belts and fought once since.
Yeah, and that was over a year ago, bro. When you think about it, that dude had them belts for like over a year. Villain, who you got?
I just want to add one thing real quick and then I'll answer the question. All I was going to say is another thing that would help with boxing is if you look at like any major sports, if you look at basketball, football, baseball, those players are forced to have to play in a season to an end point, which is going to be a championship. We have no body that makes that happen. So these guys, like you were just saying, can hold off for a year and a half. They can drop a belt and move on. With that being said, there's no way that Fundora wins the fight. Tszyu was going to easily outclass him if he wouldn't have had the head clasher him with the elbow. So 100% Tszyu wins the fight.
So I'm gonna rephrase the question because we're getting a lot of Tim Zoos here. Does anybody have Sebastian winning that rematch?
Yes.
You got Sebastian winning that rematch.
Yes.
Okay.
I got Sebastian winning the rematch because one, no matter the cut happened, whatever, Sebastian Fundora's got to be that much confident when you already beat a guy. And you can't say that the cut had so much of a factor because it brought the most violent version of Tim Tszyu out. It made
Well, how
him
are you saying
attack.
that the cut is not a factor when the
Okay,
blood
but
was
wait. Okay, let me clear it up.
What?
Let me clear it up. I'm saying the cut was an obvious factor, right? But in the sense of, like, it brought the most violent version of Tim Tszyu out, meaning he hit him with the hardest punches. Sebastian Fundora, he broke his nose. He took his best shots. He was still standing. And then Tim Tszyu, yes, it was going in his eye. He had to switch up his fight. That's on him. He could have stopped the fight in the second round, but he chose to keep going. And what I saw was Sebastian Fundora whooping his ass. And even when Tim Tszyu was at his most dangerous.
Yeah, that's a
he was
horrible fucking
desperate
take.
man.
That's a horrible fucking take.
I didn't want to be the one. I didn't want to be the one. That's some bullshit.
Imagine
nigga.
trying to drive and it's blood in your eye, let alone
That's
fight a
all right.
motherfucker and it's blood in your eye and it won't stop. They put the coagulant on it, it don't stop. I'm so like, nah, yeah, I can't. Like, I think it matters if it's blood in your eye. I do.
I'm still thinking they gave him bullshit coagulant too.
If it would have been off a punch, then I would have said, "Hey, Brody, you got punched. That's fair game. You got hit, and he opened your ass up. But it wasn't a punch. It was a fucking.
It was
elbow.
his fucking daddy long leg built ass.
Fucking elbow.
I believe that had to do with his eyes, the blood giving him impairing his vision. It didn't have nothing to do with his fist. And he punched Sebastian Fundora with his best punch.
My thing is, Fundora, that dude still broke your nose and opened your mouth and had you. Fundora looked like he got jumped at a BLM march or some shit. Like the dude, that dude looked like he got
on points.
Yeah, that's cool and all that, but you here's the difference. You 6'5", You got height, you got reach, you're still getting hit. This dude has blood all in his eye. They can't stop it. And he's still hitting you? So I'm thinking, what happens if he don't got a cut?
He can see a little better.
Nice.
He's gonna punch him in his brown, bro.
He still took his best punches. He still didn't knock out Sebastian Fundora. Still, he was still standing, and he still
but if
won
he's
the
not
fight.
distracted trying to get blood out of his eye, that means he can punch him more consistently and more often.
Right, right. I would think that too. I absolutely think that too. And
it was so here's what I'm getting at. Here's what I'm getting at. That hand on heart, I do not believe that we will ever get Fundora versus Ortiz. Well, I don't think it happens.
No,
because underneath it all, Samson knows Virgil will stretch this motherfucker. He will.
He knows.
He knows. Pero Timmy, because and I respect Timmy. Like I love Timmy. He's a fucking moron. He'll fight Virgil. Yeah, I want to fight Virgil. I sound like Mirage. I'll fight him. I don't care. He's Australian. I don't fucking care. Fucking Mirage. David Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Like,
David Benavidez.
Bro, that fucking homo was really over there on BDA trying to talk about David Benavidez when there's all kinds of fucking fights happening this week.
Bro, David don't have shit going on right now. He's still bringing that motherfucker.
He's got another, bro.
Let it go.
I'm surprised he hasn't popped up on the channel at all.
Nah, he's too busy making videos now, bro. Remember, he's got a channel
now.
He's
David Benavidez probably accidentally followed him by accident on fucking Instagram or something one day. And
I'll tell you what it was. He met David Benavidez at the urinal, and David shook his hand before he washed it.
He looked over and said, "Nice dick, bro."
I told him, I said, you may as well just call your channel the David Benavidez channel because that's all it's about.
Honestly, bro, he probably shook his hand right after he shook the shit off. Like, thanks, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
nice talk, bro.
Mirage went home and smelled that shit. Didn't wash his hands and shit.
I was actually mad. I was actually mad at Samson Lukowicz for a minute how he was handling Fundora, but then I realized he did Fundora the best he could do. He did him solid because there's so many people at 154 that can expose him and beat him that he was just trying to give the guy an opportunity to hold the belts for a full year. I mean, I hate to say he's a protected fighter, but there are so many people that he could potentially lose to and lose those belts. So honestly, you should be giving Lukowicz credit for making sure that he can hold on to those belts by fighting inferior competition.
I disagree with it because of this, right? Just like the point you made. There are too many guys at 154 that can beat him, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's not even a question of win to loss ratio. It should be what loss gets me the most money. That loss was Terrence Crawford, and you killed that fucking fight. You killed that fucking fight over a year ago. Immediately you killed that fight. That is true. If you got a guy, he's got 2 belts, and you know these other guys out here eat him alive. You fuck it, sell the belts then. And you didn't do that. So you go in there and you fucking fight Timmy for a second time. If he beats you, Brody, I'm a big fan of Tszyu, but I'll be the first to tell you in America, that's not a big fight. Ain't nobody gonna buy that. Only one's gonna buy that is me and Country when he's done jerking off.
True.
As a huge Tszyu fan,
don't fucking come in here with a mic louder than mine. You better lower that shit first.
What? Well, okay. How's that?
That's better.
All right. I wasn't trying to outshine you. I mean, I will outshine you because I'm right. I will outshine you, Jules, because I'm always right. But I don't really like this Tszyu fight. Like, if he loses, as a huge Tszyu fan, his career's done. And
he's losing.
The time to do the rematch was right after the first fight, and that loss to Bakram is just. The Joey Spencer fight was a good one to get back on track, but to rush straight back into a title fight.
Who would you like to see him fight then? If he doesn't fight Fundora,
somebody to just like a decent contender again, just to build himself back in. Like there's no reason.
He just beat on a cab driver. What else? I mean, what more do you want after that?
I mean, I would say if it weren't
He didn't
Sebastian,
beat on a cab. Whoa. He didn't beat on a cab driver.
He beat Joey Spencer. What the fuck?
Bro, what are you talking about? A fucking cab driver.
I thought he said
that dude drive Uber on the weekend.
No, I'm talking.
Listen.
Papi, I was talking about Ortiz.
No.
Ortiz. No, Ortiz is down with the shit. He's with the shit, man. He's with the shit. But
that's what I thought. Sorry.
I think Timmy, if it were Bakram again, I'd say no, Timmy, don't do that. If it were Virgil, I might say, yeah, Timmy, you might need to fucking relax. But because it's Sebastian, you know Sebastian. You've been in there with him before. I believe that a part of you is gonna be more up for that fight than a lot of other fights. Like, I need to beat the fuck out of this motherfucker. Your ass got lucky that my forehead split open. Your ass got lucky. Up. I'm gonna fuck you up, bro. Because it's Sebastian. Zion? I mean, it's not a bad fight. It's like if they announced it, I'm watching that shit. It's a good fight, but it's out of place.
Okay.
Xander needs to Xander, and it's none of this is Xander's fault, by the way. Like Xander, dog, you duck Xander. That's all I see. Yeah, you ducked him. And it's the other shit. I had Xander winning that Fundora fight. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised you ducked him. I'm not. Like, yeah, he was gonna beat you.
Yeah,
Brody, you lost to fucking Brian Mendoza. Can we stop?
So is it safe to say that Fundora is the Barrios of 54?
I mean, you said it, not me.
I mean, he's Barrios.
Can we just again say that these people keep perpetuating the stupid lie?
What's the lie?
Yeah.
0-7. I did not get all 7 fights wrong. That is a complete lie.
Shit. 0-7. 0-7. We might as well call him Ed Hearn. The new Ed Hearn.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, man!
You don't even get to read that shit, bro. Oh shit! But no, like that's a good parallel. That look, I don't actually dislike Sebastian as a person and as a fighter. What I do like about Sebastian, irrespective of his flaws, is he's never in a boring fight. I've never seen him in a boring fight ever. Okay. So he is entertainment. But realistically, Brody, you only here because of your elbow. Let's be fucking real. You only here because of your elbow. That's how you here.
Yeah. Stabbed him with it.
I mean, Jules, think about it. He got his ass. He got his ass kicked by Erickson Lubin and managed to survive that fight. And then you lost to Brian Mendoza. I mean, come on.
And nothing. And this is the thing. Nothing against Brian Mendoza, but y'all know, y'all watch boxing. When the fuck this dude started hitting hard? That's when did that happen? It's not that. It's that Sebastian, you suck. And motherfuckers, listen, I've been said this shit. This motherfucker's 6'5", trying to fight in the phone booth. Brody, you gonna get knocked the fuck out one day doing that shit.
He did.
Lo and behold. You not now. I'll give him credit that he came into the zoo fight with a good plan. He fight because if you remember, he don't fight like that all the time. Behind the jab, he don't fight like that. Usually he be in your face throwing hooks. So you fought smart, but even with fighting smart, Brody, did you see yourself after that fight? I'm telling you, it looked like you got jumped, bro.
It looks like to me, all tall guys fight with an elbow game. Ex Espinoza and Sebastian Fundora, lethal elbow game.
Who did Espinoza split open their forehead? Who?
Well, he hit Robersi and fractured his orbital bone, according to
not with an elbow, bro. That was a right hand. Come on now.
They showed
no, don't fucking come in. No, listen. We don't like Cuban fighters on this show. Let's get that shit right out the way. Fuck that shit.
That's all
I always
nice.
thought.
I was just talking about elbows,
No. Let me stop with my prejudicial shit. In fairness, Robisi, I always thought he was overrated, bro. I'm sorry. Your claim to fame as an amateur went over Shakur. In the pros, you were underwhelming, bro. You shouldn't have had to work that hard for no fucking Isaac Dogbay when Nick Ball beat that motherfucker's ass. You had to work mad hard with that dude, bro. So I was never really sold on Roe.
Did he? Sorry to interrupt you. Did he retire? Did he retire? Is he gonna come back?
Nah. I don't think he retired, but he probably should. Brody, who's he gonna beat? Who's he gonna beat?
He can beat up some tomato cans on Top Rank. There's plenty of those.
He might run into some Progresso cans over there. You better be fucking careful.
Some minestrone.
Shout out to Mexican Killer. Kiwi, what are your picks for this weekend so I can pick the opposite?
You don't need to read, Jules, you don't need to read it out.
Hey, dude, if they pay me, then yeah, I gotta read it.
Yeah,
You know what,
if
Jules?
you're paying.
You don't have.
You know what you need to do, Jules? You need to have like the best super chat of the week, man. Category.
Yeah, I might start. That's a good idea, country.
Serious.
Kiwi, serious questions though. Serious questions. Of the 4 fights on Friday, which one do you think is going to end in an upset?
I don't think either of them are going to lose. If I had to pick one, I'd say Tszyu. Tszyu's giving me Kambosos vibes. I'm still picking him to win, but if he loses to Barbosa by decision, won't be shocked.
That's called hedging your bets. You got to take a pick.
Yeah, because
I'm
you
picking
basically
Tszyu.
just
That's a country decision.
No, I'm picking.
That's
picking
exactly
Tszyu.
what that. I got Tszyu unless Arnold wins.
Oh fuck!
No,
yeah.
no.
I didn't pick that shit.
Like, how do you even explain that shit? Like, so who do you have?
I did pick a winner. I'm picking Tszyu. I'm just saying, Jules. You asked me which favorite is more likely to lose. I'm picking all the favorites.
So in other words, you think that all of the favorites on Friday are going to win?
Yeah, Haney's going to, unless Haney is shot, he whitewashes Ramirez. Garcia knocks out.
Haney's going to win unless the other guy wins.
Garcia knocks.
Okay, wait. I want to go. No, Kiwi. I want to go to the Saturday show. You got Badu Jack, Noel Michaelian. Have you made a pick for that fight?
Yeah, Michaelian. I keep getting called a hater for this. Badu Jack right now, love the guy, but he's a paper champion.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah. I see that. What do you think about Martin Bakole, F.A. Ajagba? Who's winning that fight?
Bakole.
How's Bakole win?
Bro, isn't Badu Jack like your age?
Yeah, he's like 49 years old.
Yeah.
He's fucking old, man.
Yeah, motherfucking.
Badu Jack really stepped in shit. In truth, coming back, it was never going to be easy because it's either you fight this big-ass Canadian who likes to beat up broads, or you fight this German guy with a lot of chest hair. You're 42, bro, and you've been out for 2 years. You guys got a lot of chest hair, bro.
What does chest hair have to do with boxing?
All right, Jules.
He's aerodynamic, bro. He's like a fucking Prius out there, bro.
Part of his defense.
Fast.
All right,
pop out and shield him
because I'm the one that you guys like to gang up on. Did I answer the question to your satisfaction?
Wait, who's ganging up on you, Kiwi? Nobody's
you being 0-7 is why you're getting ganged up on.
Come on.
I never went 0-7.
Okay, 0-8, 0-9. I apologize.
Sorry. 0-9, guys. Come
We
on,
love you,
guys.
Kiwi, but you kind of walked yourself into that shit, man.
What am I supposed?
Now, we got Rafael Espinoza on Inoue's undercard on Sunday. Is anybody else growing impatient with Rafael? That, okay, bro, like, who the fuck is this guy that you're fighting, dog? Who is this guy?
Who is he fighting exactly?
Some fucking guy. That's why I said that. Like, bro, like, there's like 3 champions at your weight. What is rocking, bro?
I'm not even sure they did a press conference with him. They did one with.
I blame Xan for Jules. I blame Xan for that shit.
Yeah, I blame Kiwi.
Of course, I'm to be blamed for everything.
I mean,
I'm the emperor. I'm the emperor of boxing. But yeah,
fighting him.
Yeah, we don't want.
I think Kiwi's fighting
Emperor Norton of boxing.
Kiwi, Kiwi, are you married by chance?
What?
Are you married? Is the
Are you
reason I'm asking
single?
this question.
Why are people asking me about my?
No, seriously, are
Where
you
the
married?
fuck did this come from?
It's just a
Because you
simple-
sound really strong, bro.
It's a yes or no.
I got.
Are you?
Hold
Are you
on.
married?
Hold on. I just
She's
got.
a real
Hold on.
woman.
I was just on a
What do
radio.
you deadlift, bro? Like, what do you deadlift? 400?
Hold on.
450?
Jesus. I was just on BDA getting asked about my ethnicity. Now I'm getting asked about my marriage life. Like, what
Bro,
the
there's a
fuck is
reason I'm
it
asking
with
the question.
why?
Bro,
I'm single. I'm
okay,
single. You
because
have to know. But what?
Yeah. I'll tell you why. If you just chill out for a second. The reason I asked this question is you said, why is everybody ganging up on me? Why does everything have to be my fault? If you were married, you know the answer to that question. That's why I asked you. Because you're never going to be right when you get married. So
Oh, no.
welcome to the
Fuck
club.
that shit. Yeah. 2
Well,
plus 2 is
yeah,
5,
I'm-
bro. Once you're married,
Okay,
2 plus
well,
2 is 5.
all right. So yeah, I'm single. I'm always right. That's.
But what do you
okay,
deadlift?
What?
Yeah, what do
What do you deadlift?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What about, are we boxers or briefs? Is coffee
come
with
on,
cream,
yeah.
without?
Can we get back to boxing? Can we get
This
back
is
to boxing?
I
Do
said
you put
boxers
on
or
both
briefs.
pants leg at a time or one?
I'm gonna. All right. Until you guys be
Is it
sensible, I'm just gonna
is
mute
it
you all.
true that in the southern
I
hemisphere
can't hear you guys. I'm just gonna mute it.
is it no look, is it true that in the southern hemisphere when you flush the toilet the water spins counterclockwise? Is that actually a thing?
All right,
or is
I'm
that
out
just
of here.
And then
What
the other
the fuck,
question
bro?
is,
Come on.
do you? I needed to know.
Australian,
When you
bro.
wipe, do you wipe until it's all
Bro, he's
done?
not
or you just wipe
Australian,
once?
he's from New Zealand. If he were Australian, he'd have a sense of humor.
Kiwi,
Zealand.
come
Nah,
back,
yeah,
man. We're
yeah,
not ganging
right.
up on
I've
ya.
never seen a grown man ever get so angry if you ask him if he's single or married. That dude was like offended by that question.
Yeah, he didn't like that fucking question.
Yo, you married? What are you talking about?
Well, you know, I mean, the dating scene in New Zealand, I mean, in fairness, it's not a very big island. You know, everybody's going to end up fucking the same broads at the end of the day. So that's probably why he was a little sore about that. It's okay, Kiwi.
Hey, Jules,
We still love you,
let me
Kiwi,
ace
man.
this. 2 great prospects are making their pro debuts this weekend. Rito
Marco
and
Verde.
Tszyu on Friday, and then Marco Verde on Saturday.
Yeah, for those that don't...
What do you know about those guys?
Well, Marco Verde's Mexican like me, so that automatically makes me a fan of him. And then I'm gonna jump off a cliff with Marco Verde, bro. I mean, like, no, that's how it is, bro. Look, I don't apologize for shit. You know, I told you what it is, and that's what it is. If you go against it, hey, you know, Marco Verde, man.
When you get that Mexican flag, homo?
Yo, I do need to get that shit, bro, on some real shit.
Did a grown man just leave a channel because you asked him how much he deadlift?
Yeah.
I mean, look, in fairness, a lot of guys are really sensitive about 2 things: what they bench and what they deadlift. They are, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm old enough that I get I have the built-in excuse that, well, I'm old, I can't bench as much as I used to, you know. But
I thought
you know, young guys that they get that's like asking them. That's like asking them how long is it? You know, they're like, hey, oh.
Kiwi just said in the chat he wasn't offended. He just didn't understand the question.
No, he doesn't know what the fuck, because they don't deadlift in fucking New Zealand. Come on,
They don't have
weights in New Zealand. Back on, man.
Because they don't put cream in their coffee country.
You know what I'll tell you? I'm gonna tell you the truth though. Deadlifting is a waste of fucking time. I'm sorry. I don't even know why people do it
That's
anymore.
not true. If you want to go to the chiropractor for the rest of your life, that's why you deadlift.
All right, yeah. If you want to help the chiropractor make money, because I'm like, yo, dog, there's so many better ways to strengthen your fucking quads
Come
than
on,
this
Kiwi,
dumb
get
shit.
back on, man. It's cool.
Come
We
on,
ain't got
Kiwi.
to-
It's okay
Come on,
if you
Kiwi,
don't
get
deadlift.
back on, Kiwi. Come on.
Gooch is saving himself for a Benavides. Yeah, because they don't say Benavides in the southern hemisphere. It's Benavides. Like Aristides, diabetes, Benavides, bro. That's how they say that shit. But yeah,
Rashidi Elis?
Rashidi Elis. But yeah, man, deadlifts, man. What a waste. I don't know why people do them, but yeah, you know.
Oh yeah, like they're way more dangerous than they're worth.
Yeah, the trade-off just isn't worth it, dog. Like, it just isn't. Flat bench, I can understand. It's a good gauge of strength, but deadlift, nah, dog.
A lifetime of back surgeries. That's what they are.
Yeah, that's what that shit is for. Like, you want to pop a disc, motherfucker? Go ahead, deadlift. We'll pop a disc. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
Hey, who do you got on the fights? Give me your picks.
I've got Arnold upsetting Tofimo, just like
Okay.
Huey said.
We knew
How's
that.
it go down?
I'm getting George Kambosos vibes. What I see is Arnold's gonna hang back. There may be a knockdown. It's gonna be too hard for Tofimo to get close to him. There's gonna be moments where Arnold's running, like outright running. But the thing is, the only way you can offset the movement is to land punches, and I don't see Tofimo landing on this guy the way he wants to. If you couldn't land on Ortiz the way you wanted to, I don't really think you land on this guy the way you want to. You know what I mean? And the difference, which I've been highlighting, is remember, with Sandor Martin, you could look like shit. It was a top rank show. With Jermaine Ortiz, you could look like shit. That was a top rank show. This, however, is not a top rank show. And the last time that you boxed off platform, what happened?
You got put on your back pocket a few times?
You lost.
Yeah.
We got Tommy Turbo. There's Tommy
There I
Turbo.
am, baby.
He's fucking fast. What it do, Tommy?
What's going on, fellas?
So, Tommy, there's been a thing. There's been people complaining that DAZN is becoming too expensive. Do you agree with those people, or no? You don't mind what stuff costs? It's value for money. What do you think?
It is value for money. It's expensive compared to what I fucking paid for that shit when it started, right?
Yeah.
I got that long before the first Canelo Triple G fight where they charged me for it. Fuck, I was pissed. And I got it. I think it was because of that. But yeah, it's gone up. But Jesus Christ, man, as boxing fans, as long as I've been following the sport, I've always had to pay.
Yeah.
DAZN gives content all the time. It's like the only place I can watch my fights. I'm not fucking watching PBC bullshit. So if I'm comparing it, yeah, DAZN's good, man. Like it's worth it if this is your thing, right? Like if you're a boxing fan.
Two-part question, Tommy. Do you believe that Daniel was really sick when he pulled out of the Parker fight?
No.
That's two-part question. Do you believe he was really sick, or do you believe that was bullshit?
Fuck. Okay, so over there, I've heard that people possibly get ill, but no, I don't think he was. I don't think he wanted fucking to risk fighting Parker.
So here's the second part of that. Do you believe he ducked Parker?
Yeah, I do. I do, because he was going to be guaranteed that shot, the rematch. And I think Parker takes it from him. I've got a fucking different feeling about Parker as of late. Like, he's been coming on. It's been lining up right for him. And he's got a confidence that, fuck, man, I think he beats Daniel. I don't know. It's a good fight. Is it worth risking?
But was it a duck, in other words, that you, like, on paper, and be honest, with our own two eyes, Usyk is a better fighter than Joseph Parker. Can we all agree on that?
Yes, 100%.
Of course.
So, is it, because this is what makes it debatable. Is it a duck when you skip out on one fighter to fight a better fighter than he is? Is that a duck?
No,
well, it's still a duck because it's like you said, it's not an either or situation.
Well, so that would make me a hypocrite, because I defended Sugar Shane all those years, and I said he ducked Floyd Mayweather to go fight a natural fucking middleweight and Winky Wright? Really? That's what he did. He ducked Floyd for less money. No, he wanted the Tito fight. To get the Tito fight, he had to fight that motherfucker. I didn't think Shane had any business fighting a natural middleweight. And as we all saw after 24 rounds,
small.
Yeah. But
that's a different situation. That's an all different situation entirely. He was already he was there on that fight weekend, scheduled to fight him. They made weight and everything. Everything was a go. And then he comes up and says he was sick because he didn't want to take a chance or put a risk of losing and giving up the opportunity to fight Usyk. What you're saying is negotiation. They would have went into negotiation.
Yeah,
he
because
chose to fight another fighter.
the other side of the coin, the other side of the argument, okay, me and round one have a fight scheduled, but I know that a fight with Real Talk pays more money. But if I like my chances if I like them against round one, well, then I do the fight. If I don't do the fight, what does that mean?
Bro, again, at the end of the day, the only thing that makes this a debate is if you make it an either or situation, and it's not, so it's a duck.
Right. And that's why I believed it was one.
I hate throwing that out there because I hate saying duck, and I don't side with it. I try not to like pick a side and shit like that, but I know that these guys, they got big fucking balls because it takes big balls to climb in that fucking ring. But I feel like Daniel, I don't think he was sick, and I think he was negotiating himself, setting himself up, because your time at the top is short-lived. Look at fucking Joshua. Like, you got to keep fighting to get back up there, and Daniel's taking his shot, man. I don't know if does he think he can really fucking beat Usyk? I don't. I think Usyk's gonna fucking put it to him.
No, yeah. Like, I think Usyk, like, I got my pick personally. I don't think Daniel changed. I think he's confident because he's fucking a Brazilian girl with a big ass. So he's confident. He's confident. Like, what changed is that you're confident. The way you fight, however, that didn't change. It didn't change. What changed? Well, what you doing that's so different from what you was doing before? Nothing changed, bro. You're a little bit more confident, so you're talking more shit. You're committing to your power shots a little bit more, but that makes you vulnerable. Well, yeah, you beat Jarrell Miller. The guy's 300 pounds and flat-footed, and all he does is come forward. You beat her. Yeah. These are good wins, by the way. But I'm saying, which one of these guys is supposed to be the carbon copy of Usyk? None of them.
Well, none of them.
I think the issue is like people associate like a negative connotation to the word duck, but it's like, well, all it really means is that you avoided a fight for whatever reason. You avoided one fight in favor of another. So yeah, like
not just, in short, wait, real talk. Not just because if you choose a harder fight over an easier fight, that's not in according to Hoyle Duck. What constitutes the duck is you chose an easier fight over a harder fight. Like, that's the textbook duck.
Yeah.
Tommy, go ahead. Tommy,
and that's what makes this a debate. Now, I'm gonna go get some cranberry juice. I'm gonna go get some cranberry juice and be right back.
Tommy, I got a question for you.
Wait. This particular topic is a duck, but with a suit and tie on. That's all this is. Because what in that version saying, well, the only thing that's going to constitute a duck is that you fight.
It's a sophisticated duck, is what you mean.
Right. Because what he's saying is, what he's saying is, well, it's only a duck if you avoid a tough fight for a smaller fight. And I don't agree to that because Josh Parker was there. He had to oppose a threat for you not to
go because fuck Jules.
But he because
I think Dubois should have fought Parker. I think Parker Dubois should have happened.
Now we just saw, fighters be right at the doorstep and fuck up their opportunity. Now, if you decide, hey, I want to fight this guy for 4 belts. Well, me and my entire family went through a training camp. I was probably away from my kids. We were at the day before the fight, and you're gonna spit me in the face because remember, there's 2 of us in this equation. You're basically telling me fuck you.
Yeah.
To go fight somebody else, but I'm cool with that. No.
Yeah, and then you fucked Parker out of his deal, out of his bread.
That means by definition you avoided me. By definition, if you avoided me, then you ducked me.
Tommy, I got a couple questions for you. Question number one is, are you on neighborhood patrol? I see you walking around. Are you trying to get your steps in throughout the day?
I've been getting my steps. So the last time I talked to you guys, I was in Scottsdale, Arizona, right?
Okay.
And then I had to leave Scottsdale. I'm having to go back because of work. Like I got hired at the sheriff's office down there.
Okay.
And I have to go back. But I came back to Washington State because this is my home and it's fucking gorgeous out right now. I've been outside all day. And it was just a little too muggy inside for me. So I came out and thought, fuck, it's not raining. It's fucking gorgeous. So I came out.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm on neighborhood patrol, but.
Okay. My second question for you is, do you think that Kiwi actually knows how much that he can deadlift? Is that something that he knows and he refuses to answer the question? Does he know what he deadlifts?
I don't think he knows, bro. I think that's why he was so insecure about it.
Yeah, and I
like
think
to
he
know
bailed.
how much he deadlifts. I'm curious now.
I think that he's sitting on the lasso of truth, and he didn't want to fucking say that it was 20 pounds.
So it's fear. And my final question for you is, do you think that Kiwi likes his coffee with or without cream?
I don't think he even puts the coffee in it. I think it's just straight cream.
Wow. So he just, are you saying he takes
Wait. So do you guys think that, do you think Kiwi's a tea man or a coffee man?
Ooh, that's well, he is an aristocrat. He is from New Zealand. So tea could be in the equation.
Did you say New Zealand?
Yeah,
Does he put on both pants legs or one at a time?
I think he has to be one at a time. There's no way he puts them on at the same time.
So you're basically saying he's
sitting on the bed
down when he pees? Are you saying he sits down when he pees? Is that?
You know what?
Wait a minute.
He wants to make sure his
Whoa. I sit down to pee if I got a shit.
Well, yeah, I think everybody does. That's a given.
I want to ask Kiwi, is the sky blue over Denver?
Yeah.
He's in New Zealand.
It's like great. It's like smoke. It's like fucking 420.
So he does. So Kiwi doesn't even drink coffee. It's just straight milk.
Nah, he drinks a John Wayne.
He
No
drinks
cream,
soy
no
milk.
sugar, nothing. Straight black.
Well, I mean, if you've had Thai tea with creamer in it, it's fucking good. So if that's what he's drinking instead
what the fuck do you guys ingest for caffeine?
Well, in the morning it's coffee with a little bit of non-fat cream. Then you're gonna drink an energy drink through the middle of the day, and then you drink one diet soda at night. Those are your 3 caffeines.
What's with the non-fat?
It's only because I'm fat, so I don't need any more sugar in the morning. I'm already fat.
Kiwi chews chewing tobacco while drinking black coffee.
Yeah,
that's me. Yes, I'm chewing tobacco
Oh, you
while I
fucking
drink black
psychopath.
God.
You just fucking eat a fistful of dirt, why don't you?
Try that. Because I don't play football anymore.
Tommy,
so,
I got a question from the chat.
Yeah.
Johnny Suave wants to know, it's 100 men or 1 gorilla?
The fucking
where
gorilla
the
would
fuck did that come from, bro?
I have no idea.
Listen, guys.
Oh, that shit's been on the radio all day out here.
I would lead us to victory. Okay, this is preposterous, right? Listen, I would take 20 guys to build a hole in a ditch. You would just put wooden spikes in it. A gorilla, if in the wild, if you just go like that, it goes backwards. It's not like a movie theater.
No, bro, this is fisticuffs.
Right?
So
you just back it up.
And there ain't 20 guys.
Falls in the hole. We all get around, grab boulders. 40 of us just throw
but
rocks at it.
Boulders. You don't get
Yeah,
boulders.
but you're not allowed to use fucking. You're not allowed to use Vietnam War tactics.
Yeah,
you can't use weapons. We can use
guerrilla warfare.
You're not allowed to use guerrilla warfare on the gorilla.
They said you can't use knives or guns.
Well, hold on. So look. If the question is, can 100 men beat a gorilla? The real question becomes is like, well, what kind of men are we talking? We talking Brock Lesnar's?
No. Let's be real. Let's be real. 100 men beat a gorilla, my dude. Are you fucking nuts? It doesn't take 100 men to capture a fucking gorilla, so why would it take 100 men to beat a gorilla? Right. Yeah, 100 men beat a gorilla. Now somebody gonna die. 4 of them gonna die, but it's 100 of them.
Only 4? I don't know, man. A gorilla's not fucking around. He's gonna rip some heads off.
Dude, I'm not saying like I hold up. So what was left of the imagination are there weapons? What we
No.
talking about? Fist fight?
No. See,
No weapon.
you're
this is
adding
straight
caveats,
fisticuffs,
Jules.
bro.
They
This
said
is
fist fighting.
fisticuffs.
Yeah,
Man,
no caveats.
There's
No,
100
no,
men.
no,
There's
man.
100 men.
Hey,
We
hey,
would
hey,
all right.
dig a
hey,
hole
Wait,
around
shut
them.
the fuck. Wait.
Hold up.
Are they Democrats? Because then the gorilla wins.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, man, you know what?
We're all
You
dead.
know
We're
what?
dead.
You know what?
They're
For real,
Michaels.
fuck the
We're
gorilla,
dead.
man. You want to impress me?
Bro, we're
Fuck with
talking
a
about
Billy Ape.
100 Michaels.
Hold up, man. Fuck with a Billy Ape, man. That's the motherfucker that's dangerous. The gorilla's dangerous, but the Billy Ape's worse.
See, look, because the thing is that the first couple of guys that approached that gorilla, right? The first couple of guys, them guys is dying, bro. They dying.
They're dead.
No, yeah, they're dead.
But the dudes on the perimeter, on the side of the gorilla, on the back of the gorilla, they gonna get on top and they gonna beat on them, bro. They're gonna beat on them. What it reminds me of is when they showed how giant hornets, they'll send out a scout. A giant hornet will send out a scout to a bee's nest, right? The first couple of little honeybees, the first couple of little bees that come up on that giant hornet, yeah, they die, bro. They get ripped apart. But after a while, they all pile on him, and then they kill his ass.
Oh, they swarm.
Yeah, they cook their
swarm him.
bitch ass.
They cook the They literally cook the motherfucker. They just get on him and vibrate like a fucking dildo, and that kills the scout. So I'm just thinking, if a bunch of guys, 100 guys, they all get their dicks out and they shake really fucking fast, they'll kill the fucking gorilla, bro.
Oh my god,
kill him, bro.
Yo,
the
I'm
fuck
just
are you
wondering.
talking
Bro,
about?
we gooning the gorilla to death now?
Hey, yo, Jules.
Jules, how far we have fallen as a species as men. Whatever happened to the days of gentleman Jim Corbett going 100 rounds with a grizzly bear?
I'm saying, dog, like Democrats, bro. Like I said, if they're Republicans, give me 50 Republicans, they beat that fucking gorilla. But if it's Democrats, yeah, you need 100 guys, bro. You need about 100 guys.
Oh,
you know?
God.
Hey,
Now
yo,
we're
Jules.
getting into politics.
Good.
Jules, how much kiwi deadlifts?
I don't know. Shit, he didn't answer the question. And yeah, like I
That
thought
shit shit reminds me of like when they asked the MMA fighters if they would fight a kangaroo, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, I would love to fight a kangaroo." And then here comes fucking Islam, who I would submit kangaroo. He's like, no one check grappling.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That the gorilla got this reputation for being the badass of the jungle, and while it is a destructive creature, a grizzly bear is 10 times worse, and that's the real debate. That's the real debate that's been around for a long time, which I don't think is a debate. Grizzly bear versus gorilla. Grizzly bear wins every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just like the lion and the tiger, that the lion has this fucking reputation for being the king of the jungle. When you know a lion solos, a tiger solos a fucking lion, bro.
Easy work.
The guy in the chat said 100 kiwi versus one gorilla.
What tiger are we? Are we talking about a Siberian? Because I would agree, but tigers do not have the same experience in fights as lions do. Lions fight daily, protect the pride daily, and if they're the same size
against each other, that's like a couple of flyweights fighting each other all the time. You put a middleweight in there, put a fucking middleweight in there, sort that shit out.
Same size.
You know,
tigers can be bigger.
No, but if you think about it, gorillas don't know any type of strength training, so we've never seen a gorilla at 100%. Like,
gorilla ain't got no fucking jab. It's all
hooks. Honestly, you know what animal can kill a lion for real?
A liger?
No, the fucking Billy Ape I told you about. Those motherfuckers are like giant chimpanzees. They can kill a lion. They're capable of it. They've done it.
I'm gonna look up this fucking Billy Ape you keep.
Now everybody's gonna get off of this bitch and look up what a Billy Ape is.
I get so nauseated by the spirit animal bullshit with the fucking gorilla, because for starters, a gorilla's a fucking herbivore. It's a herbivore. It's not even a carnivore. It's a herbivore. Now you talk about a Kodiak bear. You talk about a polar bear. That is instant death. That polar bear is going to kill you. It's not going to do anything else. Whereas with a gorilla, remember, gorillas are community animals. They're they're dangerous. Don't fuck with them, of course. But you have a better chance at having an interaction with a gorilla than a fucking. There is no positive interaction with a grizzly bear or a polar bear. No, homie, it don't go down. They're gonna kill you.
Polar bear will fucking find you. He will not stop. He's gonna eat your ass.
You know, the thing about tigers is they're stealthful as fuck. I saw this one. Did you remember that clip where those people were driving through like the safari area and that stupid rock
took
got
the
out of
guy's
her
wife.
car? Yeah, his wife got man. That fucking tiger.
No, they can fucking climb, man. Like tigers can literally climb, dog. Climb up trees. Like,
they can also swim.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. But the whole thing with the gorilla is that because of King Kong, because that's really where I think this perception of the gorilla being this amazing fighter comes from. Like what do you think this fucking guy is? Guile and Street Fighter, bro?
Hammer fist, bro. It's all hammer fists.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. Give me a grizzly bear, dog. That grizzly bear solos that fucking gorilla, dog.
Them gorillas are lying with the left hook. All they got is the hammer fist.
Because a grizzly bear has talons. One swipe of those motherfuckers, this fight is over. It's fucking over, dog. It's over. You know?
And niggas be like 9 foot, 700 pounds and shit.
Yeah, shit is crazy, man. But you know, I don't even know where that fucking debate point came from. But I think the short answer is yes, 100 men beat a gorilla. They do, but maybe 5 or 10 of those men die. The first few who approach that gorilla. But the guys on the perimeter and the guys on the side, once they pile on, this is over. This is over. What's the gorilla gonna do? A fucking reversal? He's gonna put judo across these guys.
I think he screams out. I'm curious.
He'll start suplexing people.
Yeah, because I think he fucking wears those people out. I think a lot more than 4 or 5 die. Yeah, I mean a gorilla.
No, we can round up. You could say 20 guys die. You know, but you could say 20 guys die. You could say 30 guys die. But the question is, can 100 men beat a gorilla? The short answer is yes. Yeah, they can.
You know what 100 men looks like? Do you know what 100 men looks like? Imagine 100 men just piling on. No, what you're thinking is like this gorilla's gonna have these big bursts and just like blow off men off of them. What's gonna happen is eventually 20 is gonna turn into 30, 30 is gonna turn into 40, and they're gonna wear this thing down. And while they're doing this,
nobody said they're not gonna get hurt
in the head.
They're not. Nobody said that guys aren't going to get hurt or guys aren't going to get killed or bones aren't. No, these things are going to happen. A good chunk of that 100 men are going to die.
You can't fight them in the pocket.
But do they beat him? Do the 100 guys? Yeah, they beat him.
Yes, eventually.
Jab and move.
No, we're not talking. No, it's important to note we're not talking about guys from fucking Thailand that are about the size of Chocolatito.
Let's just go with 2 football teams, right? Let's go with the the Steelers and the fucking Eagles.
Like
right?
Brock Lesnar.
Because I don't think we're talking about a bunch of Jet Lees, right? I don't think we're talking about a bunch of 100 Ong Baks. We're talking about 100 full-sized men. Let's round it up. Let's call them 6 feet even. Between the heights of 5'10", 6 feet even, 2 and change. Yeah, they get that gorilla. The combined weight of all those men. Yeah, they get that fucking gorilla.
100 men? 100 men.
Yeah. Now if it's 100 super flyweights, now I got the gorilla.
Yeah, if it's like 100 Michaels, I'm taking the gorilla all day.
If it's 100 Bam Rodriguez's, I got the fucking gorilla. Okay, I got the fucking gorilla.
Jules, somebody in the chat said 100 Kiwis versus 1 gorilla.
Well, we don't know what he deadlifts, so until we get that answer, we don't know. We don't know.
We need more. We need more research and data on that one.
We need more data. We gotta go to the lab on that one. But yeah, man. What else do we have on the schedule besides Dubois and Usyk and the fights this Friday?
Inoue.
Oh no, yeah, but I mean, like that's not a fight you have to spend a lot of time.
Jules, I have a question. What about Sugar Nunez going to Japan for that vacant belt?
Who's he fighting?
What belt?
He's fighting some tall ass Japanese dude that I guess was the number 2 or 3 contender since Kakache bitched out and coughed up the belt.
I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot for me to bet against Sugar. It's gonna take a lot, and I don't see a Japanese guy out fighting him or outbeat. I don't see that. I have Sugar becoming the IBF champion. What do you guys think about Angelo Leo and Tomoki Kamita? Does he come back champion or nah?
I say yeah because I've seen Tomoki fight like the last few years. He's not the same guy he was when he was undefeated.
What else? I mean,
I
there's
don't
not
know.
much else.
Oh, speaking of which, next weekend, not this one, but the following one, you got Lee Wood and Kakache.
Yeah, but we know. Like, look, I'm a big fan of Lee Wood. Like, he's
I like
he's the British Rocky, you know. But realistically, you don't come off a year, over a year. I think he's been out for closer to 2 now. He's been out a while, dog, to fight this fucking guy, Kakache. I hope Lee Wood wins, but I got Kakache, bro. I got Kakache by knockout. You've been out too long, bro.
I got a soft spot for Lee Wood because like you said, that's like a real life Rocky. But
Country's got a hard on.
I gotta go. I gotta go with Kaka.
Country's got a hard spot.
I'm gonna be out in Vegas to watch the Naoya Inoue fight.
Talking about
hard on, bro. Come on now, gooning.
He's been gooning the whole episode.
Now they said that Bam is finally gonna get a unification match with Fumale Lafu, and Diego Pacheco is gonna be on the undercard. So I'm looking forward to that. But those are not.
Oh, what's that?
That's supposed to be for the summer. They're on the eve of announcing that. That's supposed to be over the summer. I think that's gonna be in I think that's gonna be in Real Talk's neck of the woods. I think it's gonna be in Texas. And Frisco, Texas specifically.
Oh, that ain't far at all.
You know what I'm saying? So that's good. But once again, even though it's a unification match, everybody on the panel is gonna go with Bam. Nobody's gonna pick Fumale Lafu. Diego Pacheco versus Trevor McCumbee. Fun little fight. Like, yeah, it's fun because Trevor's gonna try, but nobody has Trevor winning the fight. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, those are good fights to keep you busy, but they're kind of a foregone conclusion. Like, bro, nobody's gonna pick Kafu over Bam. Sorry, like, nah.
No.
Maybe if it were Junto or somebody like that, but nah. I don't think there's anybody at Superfly that can beat Bam. I'm high on that kid. Like, yeah, nobody there beats him. Nobody.
122, right?
Nah, 115.
Nah. 115.
Oh, he's at 115.
Yeah, he's a Superfly, and nobody at that weight beats that guy.
That's a little motherfucker.
I fucking mix those weight cuts down there.
I don't think until he gets to 118, and even the champions that are there now, with the exception of Junto, that say Junto wasn't there, right? The other 3 guys, I would pick Bam to beat all 3 of them too. Like, the only dude I see at or around Bam's weight that could give him serious fucking problems is Junto. Other than that, clean sweep, dog. Clean sweep. That's also
as much as I love Bam, bro. Junto would pack.
Jules, I just found an interesting fight for the panel. Who wins between Murata and Abdulev?
Oh, I got Murata, bro. Come on. Come on. Didn't Devin Haney beat him up? You get beat on by Devin?
But he's been on a winning streak since that loss.
Against who?
Can't even beat on his own meat.
Against who? Russian Uber drivers, bro. Who? Abdullah have been around a while. For those that dude been around for a minute, but it's like, yo, who you been fighting, bro? Like, where you been at and who you been fighting? You see what I mean? So yeah, I got Murata, bro. I think Murata is good. The real question is, what is Vasyl Lomachenko going to do? Because the winner of that fight becomes his mandatory. Are you going to fight them, or what is going on, Loma? What's happening? What are you going to do? Because you had that belt for a minute now. Like we coming up on a year, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, Jules. I just saw right now. ESPN Plus picked up the Sissoko Mean Machine fight.
I got Sissoko in that fight. Mean Machine is live in that fight. Don't get it twisted. He's live in that fight, but I'm gonna go with Sissoko because he's not a for real welterweight. He's a junior middle that moved down. He's got some size, he's got some power. He's a pure boxer, but he has size and power. So I'm gonna go with Sissoko to win that fight. And I don't know when the last time Mean Machine fought is, to be honest. Like
I do. He fought towards the end of last year. It was on a little club show out here in Orange County. He beat the guy in 3 rounds, but he told me, because he used to be a trainer at my gym that I go to. He told me the PBC screwed him, Jules, that he kept waiting for those assholes to give him fights, and every time they would contact him with a fight, they would like pull the rug from under him at the last minute. Be like, nah, you know, shit happened, so we can't make this fight. So you just gonna wait. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, I
do
mean,
any of you guys have Ramirez beating Haney? Anybody?
I mean,
the whole panel picked Ramirez.
I'll tell you the truth.
Did
I'll
you
tell
guys-
you the truth that at first, when that fight was first announced, I thought this is not a good fight for Devin Haney. And I still don't
No.
really think it's a good fight for Devin in terms of styles and because Jose is not a little guy. But then I remembered you struggled with Bartholomew. You lost to Barbosa. These are boxers. These are not brawlers. These are not heavy-handed guys. You struggled with those guys. Tack on that I think Devin is on the juice. I saw a recent picture of him, right? And he's got a steroid gut. I'm not even kidding. He's got a steroid gut. I know what that shit looks like. And he has one. I think Devin's gonna win on Friday. Short story.
Okay.
Short answer.
Okay.
I think he's gonna win. At first I was iffy, but then I seen them pictures of him like, bro, that's a steroid gut. I ain't even hating on you, by the way, because I think everybody's on Peds. I think everybody's
I do
on
too.
Peds.
I
So
do
it's
too.
not
when
even-
they get to the
it's not-
top, yeah.
Yeah, like at that level, bro, everybody's on Peds. Millions of dollars, 7-figure paydays. Everybody's on Peds. Let's be grown ups
Do you
here.
think Usyk is?
Yes,
Okay.
I think
Because there was
everyone
three
is.
guys I never
think-
thought Usyk, Loma, or Triple G ever did. Like
I think-
and I know that sounds naive, but
It's to me. Look. I'm a huge fan of Usyk, so don't even get it twisted. Like I'm a huge fan of them guys, but my hand on heart, I think everybody's on Peds, bro. And if the whole
That's
if everybody's on Peds, it's like nobody's on Peds because then it's not cheating if you're keeping up with everybody else. I think everybody's on Peds. Like it's what really did it for me is that it's at every level. It's the men, it's the women, it's at prospect level, contender level, champion level. When a Canelo pops, when a Fury pops, when Jarrell Miller pops twice, Lucas Brown pops twice, Luis Ortiz pops twice, Dillian White pops 3 times in 2 different sports. Yeah, everybody's on Peds, bro. Let's
Did-
you know?
did Joshua ever pop?
No, but I think he's on Peds. It's
Yeah.
just a question of which ones. I think
And it was-
honest, hand on heart, I think I used to think like, nah, some guys aren't, but I'm like, there's no way, bro. I think everybody's on something. I think a guy like Chris, for example, he's not on the same Peds as Connor. Connor may be on Peds for performance, whereas Chris may be on Peds or banned substances to make weight. You want to stay
Yeah.
at middleweight, but you're in your mid-30s. It's not easy. So maybe you're on some kind of a diuretic. You know, you just haven't been caught. Same with Devin. Devin couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. He hits like a girl. So if he's been on Peds, they're not going to be the kind of things that show up on the night or show up in your performance. You might be on Peds to make weight because you were at 135. You were huge, but somehow you were getting to 135. You were huge at 40. Same deal. You look at a guy like Rafael Espinoza, he's not on the radar for guys who are on Peds, but the guy is 6'1" at 126. Come on, bro.
Yeah, he's
Come
like
on,
fucking Diego Corrales back in the day.
Jesus,
you look at
right?
you look at William Zepeda. It's you don't have to look too long or too hard, bro. This guy is a punching machine. He literally holds a record for the most punches ever thrown in a lightweight contest. Yes, I think he's on Peds. Yes.
So then we're all in on Crawford. Probably gonna have to fucking take some shit to get in the ring with Canelo.
I think
because I don't fucking see it. Like I was all in on this fight, and I really was giving Crawford a shot to at least go the distance. Now, fuck man, because he's not gonna fight in May. Like if he would have at least called out Charlo to get used to the weight, but now I'm feeling like he is just fucking cashing out, and it really sucks.
No, I don't see. That's the thing. I agree with everything up until the cashing out. I don't think he took this fight just for the bread. I genuinely think he genuinely thinks he can win, and that's why I'm okay with that. I want to see a dude try.
Yes.
And
yes.
I in his mind, because he's that kind of dude that I'm like, yeah, he thinks he could win. Let's see what happens. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I feel bad for the guy because he got froze out for so long. we all as fans missed out on a fucking superstar in America, man. Like,
Yeah, but
he could have been that guy.
That's the way the Americans are playing now, which is why the boxing scene is so abysmal. That a lot of look at Brian Norman, bro. Think about it. You didn't want to go to Philadelphia for Jaron Ennis. This was last year. You didn't want to go to Philly for Boots, but you're gonna go to Japan for Jin Sasaki.
I know, right?
Make it make sense.
That make? Yeah, that makes no fucking sense.
That's a dangerous fight, man.
You wouldn't. I agree with you. I agree with you. Round one, like that is a danger. I seen that motherfucker. That motherfucker can punch. He ain't perfect, but he can punch. For those that don't know, Andy Hirioka knocked him out a couple of years ago. I think it was 2021. The guy that has to fight Gary Antoine Russell now. That's another good fight, by the way. That is a good ass fight. Andy Hirioka versus Gary Antoine Russell. That is a good motherfucking fight. But yet, this kid's dangerous, and I'm just saying that. Think about what the American boxing scene is. That you have a 7-figure offer on the table. You don't even make 7 figures a fight. You don't make that. They offer you 1.7 million, which is close to 2. Unification match. You don't have to really travel outside the country. You would not go to Philadelphia for it, but you'll go to Japan for Jin Sasaki over 7,000 miles away. This is what's wrong with the American boxing scene.
It's many things wrong with the American boxing scene.
Jules, Real Talk said he fell off. If you could drop the link.
Nah, I'm about to go to sleep. Shout out to JR. Off topic. Who do you see taking Canelo's place in North America after he retires?
Oh my God. I've been thinking about this. Fuck. There is one guy, right? This is killing me. And I think he's got a fucking legitimate shot, but he's a fucking douchebag. And it's Ryan Garcia. Like, I think that he. Fuck, I don't see anybody else.
No. I disagree with that. Look, could Ryan be a big draw? Yes. Do I think he replaces Canelo? No, because you're not going to do what Canelo did. There's always going to be a cap on you. Canelo is a 4-weight undisputed champion. You understand? Unified at middle, undisputed at super middle, won a belt at light heavyweight. Ryan is not going to have a career like that. Now that doesn't mean he won't be. That doesn't mean he won't be part of big events. Oh yeah, but not like you're not going to have that. You're not going to have that. So you're not the replacement. I think that after Canelo retires, country will remember this. Turbo, you'll remember this. After the Ali era, we enter the Larry Holmes, Trevor Berbick, Bone Crusher Smith era. It was sort of a transitional period in between bigger eras that we could all say the Ali era was bigger than the one that came after it. But the Tyson era, right? That era of heavyweights, Vander Holyfield, Buster Douglas, Ray Mercer, all these great guys. That era was bigger than Larry's era, right?
Yeah, I agree.
What Larry's era was a transitional era until the next guy comes. And I believe that after Canelo retires, that's what we enter into. A transitional era until the next guy comes. Because right now, I don't really see a guy that I could say, yeah, he's going to be the guy. I don't think it's Ryan, because you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it the way Canelo did it.
Ryan's going to be like an Arturo Gatti, Jules. He's going to be a big B-side.
Yeah. Like that.
Well, I mean, but who do we got? Well, there's always going to be a face in this sport, right? Like, even in a transitional period, in which could be a fucking decade, man. Like, we could be down for a long time. I don't know when Canelo's gonna leave. He's got a few more years.
The problem is that none of these guys fight enough to be in that position that Canelo's in, and also there's no serious. Well, no, you know what? I'll throw one out there, but I mean, I'm not sure myself. Abdullah Mason.
Let me read the super chat. Shout out to Domo. I wasn't the only one that caught the HGH belly. Nah, I seen that shit, Domo. I noticed that shit. Mr. Calderon said them Peds not gonna save Devin's rice pan. Well, check it out. Check it out. There are pockets in time where there wasn't really a face. I'll give you an example. In the years that followed Floyd Mayweather's retirement, Canelo was not yet the face. He wasn't. No. He wasn't. Not in the years that immediately followed Floyd's retirement. So we're talking 2015, 2016, 2017. Canelo was not the face yet. He doesn't really become the face until after the second Golovkin fight, the second one. After that, Canelo is the dude. And after he inked that huge deal with DAZN, you guys remember the deal? It was a monster deal. And
It
then
was like
you
a
knew,
fucking baseball contract.
exactly. With that, you knew. Now, with that, you knew. Okay, this guy's the face. Why? Who else has a deal like this? Who else has a deal valued at this? Right. That's how you knew he was the face. But in the 4 or 5 years that followed Floyd's retirement, there was not a face. Not yet. So I believe that after Canelo retires, that's what's going to follow, a period where, yeah, there's guys that sell more than others, but they're not really the face the way that, he was the face. That's how it's going to be until another guy will come. One always does. Like, there's going to be another guy, but it's really not clear yet who that guy is going to be, because it's not just the title shit and the resume shit. It's also the drawing power, the earning power to make people watch boxing. And people could criticize Canelo all day, but he does make a lot of people watch boxing. He does. A lot of people show up to his weigh-ins. A lot of people still buy his fights, even when it's not a good. Everybody knew he was going to beat Edgar. Everybody knew, but 600,000 people still bought the fucking thing. Still bought it.
That's that's 3 Davis fights at least, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever Davis, and everybody knew that fucking Canelo was going to wash this guy out, but they showed out.
So
he's got a solid
it's a combination. It's a combination of not just the legacy fighter, because every face of boxing that there has ever been was a legacy fighter. Whether you're talking about Canelo or Floyd, Floyd had a legacy. Yeah, he did. He's a 5-weight champion. He unified at so he has a legacy. And then before him, Oscar, and then Roy Jones Jr. And then you keep going back. They were all legacy fighters, but what they also had in common was they were all draws. So you're not really the face of the sport until you draw people to it. You draw people,
and you gotta. I guess I was missing the legacy aspect with Fun Boy.
Yeah, because he's a fucking fun guy, but he don't give a shit about belts, bro. That dude don't give a fuck about making no weight. That's why you can't be the face. You could be a guy that sells, but you can't be the face. Like, nah.
No. He could end up being the biggest draw, but no. And they will. That's going to get through. That will get thrown around. That if he is going at it, that he's going to self-proclaim himself. Others will do the same unless somebody else. Fuck Jake Paul. Like, really? Like, who else is there above 147 pounds that could actually carry it? We could be down for a long time. I would love to say
the areas, the areas where we got ponies in the show is the little guy weights. You know what I mean? The 35, the 40, the 47, and the 54. But once you get to the grown man weights, we don't got a lot going on up there, bro.
No.
75, cruiser, heavy. We don't got a lot going, unless Richard Torres is a miracle on earth. And here's the thing. I think Richard is gonna win a belt, but you gonna get beat, bro. So I don't think you qualify as the face. Like, you're gonna get beat, bro. One of these guys is gonna knock you out. One of these guys is. Heavyweight division is deep. And Richard Torres, I think, is a good fighter. I think he's going to become a champion, but I don't see him becoming undisputed. I don't see him becoming the face. And that's all we really got going on at heavyweight. That's
Torres is a good heavyweight, but he's not an elite heavyweight.
Yeah. So can one of the little guys, a little guy, like an Abdullah Mason, like Ignacio brought up, or maybe a Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn is promising because he already sold like 10,000 tickets in Norfolk, Virginia, and he about to fight over there again. So that kind of lets you know, like, okay, this kid don't got a lot of fights, but he could fight good. He got a good amateur background. He draw good. It's like, I look at Keyshawn, maybe, but it's still too soon to tell.
Jules, I want to throw one other name out there. I don't know if you've seen him fight, but I think the kid has talent, and if they move him right, he could eventually be a guy. Joel Iriarte with Golden Boy.
I gotta see him. I haven't seen him. I've heard
I
that
haven't
He's
seen that
undefeated,
either.
and he's been knocking out everybody they put on in front of him, and he's fought some better guys than normal prospects would be fighting.
Let's
At
What about
first.
and we don't and this kid we it's early as fuck, by the way, like it's super early. But
Yeah.
Marco Verde, he could get Mexico behind him if
Yeah.
you know
But it's
if
going
he
to be a
does his
while,
thing.
though. He's not. Yeah, it's going to be a while before
Exactly.
that happens.
That it was a big like Mexican Olympian, you know, and if he's doing his thing and he's fighting good and doing his thing, maybe it's super duper early, but these are the guys that I'm like, all right, maybe these guys. But like I said, it's too soon to tell, and I believe that at least for a couple of years, we're gonna be in a transitional period after Canelo retires, where there's not an according to Hoyle face of boxing for a couple of
Yeah.
years.
Maybe Ortiz can step up. I don't know. Maybe he
Yeah,
can.
maybe Ortiz. Because
Yeah,
one thing I'll say before I close it out. When Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather, I never for a second thought that Canelo would become what he became. You see what I mean? Maybe it's a guy that's already out there. We just don't see it yet. Because when Canelo was coming through and I first saw him, all I saw was a good fighter. Like, oh no, he's good. He's got some shit. He can win some fights. But I didn't think he would become this. So it is possible that he could there could be a guy that could convince us. But and he's out there already.
There could be this opportunity for like fighters like Xander Zion to state their claim.
That's another guy. Yeah,
that's another guy like if he's doing his thing, because look, he's got the Puerto Rican fans behind him, and the more he fights, the more he wins, the bigger that fan base. It could be a guy that is already out there and he just hasn't done it yet. Because that's how I look at Canelo, that when Canelo was coming through and he was at junior middleweight and he was fighting guys, I didn't think he would become this. I really didn't. So it could be a guy like that that's he already out there. He just ain't done it yet.
He's young. He's 22 years old, so
he could pull bitches, which is the most important thing. Xander can pull some bitches, bro. Come on now,
right? Yeah,
pull some bitches. Like so we'll see, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. I will be going live again tomorrow, maybe, and y'all stay safe and
all right,
and deadlift.
All right,